Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Call of Cthulhu. Uh, the Jury. Mwah, we're back after a short intermission. And welcome back, Charlie. Welcome. Okay, so first of all, guys, let's go through social links. Subscribers everywhere. Thank you very much, Matthias. Thank you, Charlie. You guys are both great. 8 months in a row, 2 months in a row. You guys reckon 8 months in a row, Charlie. What are we gonna call it?
Um, um,
We're gonna have a stream, baby.
we will call it that after my favorite long lost hero from the jury.
Long lost. Okay, that's foreboding for you. Oh boy. Um, so Discord, Twitter, and YouTube, you guys. Discord for community, YouTube to catch up, and Twitter to get a game. Send me a DM and I'll get you a game. I am very quickly filling all the games over Christmas. I've been busy this weekend. Patreon, go and check out our Patreon. We've got articles over there. We had a new article come out this weekend, which is totally for free, and there's other things over there which are exclusive, including like my workout diary and things like that. Yeah, it's a mess. I've started writing it like a novel so that I can pretend it's someone else I'm writing about. Merch! Today, head over to Redbubble. Today they are having a sale for Cyber Sunday. Site-wide, there is a discount if you use code 30cyber. So head on over to Redbubble if you've been thinking about getting a shirt and, you know, you've been waiting, you've been thinking, maybe today's the day, 30% off. So go and check it out. That's site-wide. Everything on the site, 30% off. What else have we got? We have got sponsors in the form of Bird in the Storm Publishing, who do Teespring merch and mugs and hoodies and things. We also have Mageham Press, who do the Dark Matter 5e expansion, which is set in space. Lastly, we have a tweet today. Every 10 retweets gifts the Wild Magic Sorceress a Wild Magic Surge to hypodermically slip into the narrative without any of us noticing.
On 8. I just looked.
Oh, damn. Of course, without further ado, Charlie, how are you?
I am good. I'm a little bit tired today, but this is our penultimate episode of the jury. As unfortunately next week we will not be here due to PAX. We might try and do some sort of Q&A or something. Scrat and I need to have a conversation about that. But if not, we will be back here December 10th for our final episode of the jury. This is a 1-season show, so it's going to be big. But let's see if, you know, how many members of the team actually get there. Last session, we finally escaped Death Cabin. But we lost a few things along the way. About 3 weeks, in fact. As Lucia was abducted and absconded into a hotel room. As Bert lay in a bed tended to by Helena. As Eddie stared up at the courthouse. The courthouse is a portal, and the interlopers are invading. The three, Helena, Eddie, and Bert, all united in Miller's Cafe, around a table, around a pot of coffee, as they felt strange flashes in their mind. Visions of Lucia in trouble. Lucia attempting to escape a firefight at the compound she was being held in after 3 weeks of dealing with family politics and a general lack of information. And between them, they performed a strange spell, almost a seance, peering into the mind of the driver, into the mind then of Lucia, doing their best to help, but failing nearly at every turn. Until finally Bert, with his spark of life, the gift that Helena had given him in the basement of the murder cabin, bringing him back to life, then was funneled into Lucia to heal a nasty gunshot wound that nearly killed her, and possibly would have caused her to bleed out on the road. Once the spell was done, Bert was drawn to the fire that heated the pot of coffee, and nearly burnt down the cafe as he turned up the gas to make the flames grow. At the same time, the bell to the front door of Miller's Cafe rang, and Lucia stepped in, accompanied by her oldest brother Marcus, who had been injured during some sort of fighting near the beginning of our adventure. So, a little time has passed, and the four have reunited in the front of Miller's Cafe, and there are some words to be shared. So I think we're going to start there. But today I am planning on flashing forward through their plans as time is running out and the sky is a poisonous garden. So, why don't we begin with the man who knows what is going on, or so he claims. The man who saw the others watching as he attempted to perform a spell. Eddie.
Yeah. Not too pleased with Bert lighting a match, and if I remember correctly, he turned the gas on, right? And damn near burned the kitchen down. So, but we subdue the fire, right?
Yes, the fire was turned down, and Bert himself was extinguished.
Nice. Well, I think you do the thing where you grab him by the back of the neck of his suit, and then also by like the back of his belt, where you get him, I just haul him right out into the dining room and shove his ass down into a chair. And while I'm looking right at him, trying to get a sense of his eyes, is Lucia in the room?
Lucia, you can smell burning, and you can see through the kitchen door the scalded mark all up the wall, the ashy, blackened state of your kitchen tiles. And you can really hear some of the scuffle that's going on.
She walks in, still sort of clasping her side. I'm guessing it's still like bleeding and really, really hurts. And she's holding up her brother Marcus. They're sort of supporting each other. And as she walks into the cafe, she sort of almost forces Marcus down into a chair and then keeps walking into the back kitchen. And if she sees what happened, she'll probably just scream. And if there's anything on the surface, just swipe it off and smash it into the other side of the room and walk straight back out again.
Good times. When you're coming out, I'm gonna try to make eye contact with you, and I point at this sad sack sitting across from me, and I pat him down. I'm looking for handcuffs. Keep handcuffs on him?
Nah, Bert doesn't keep handcuffs. He's got like a pea shooter in his.
I think he's actually unarmed at the moment as well because he was being tended to by Helena upstairs. And as such, his gun, I believe, is somewhere upstairs, possibly on the floor, because I believe Helena knocked the contents of her desk to the floor. So, at the moment, he has no helpful handcuffs.
Lucia, my dear, welcome home. You got any rope?
And she looks for a second and looks down. She's got, like, blood coming out of her shirt, like it's seeping. She's like, give me one moment. And just sort of walks out to behind the bar. And she's sort of like feeling under the bar, like her hands touch the shotgun, they touch the handgun, and then they find the rope. And she pulls it out and she just throws it at Eddie and sits down in the chair. What happened to my cafe?
Well, that's what we're going to talk to Bert about here. We were all having a very polite conversation. A productive conversation as far as I'm concerned. And then the mastermind here thought it'd be fun to turn the gas on, light a match, try to kill all of us. And he and I are gonna have a little chat for just a second. And I proceed to tie Bert to the chair.
Bert doesn't stop you or make any motions to.
Excellent. I tie his hands good and tight, and I put my foot on him. You do that thing where you put your foot on it, pull real hard, get you some leverage in there. Not a comfortable knot. And I'm gonna sit across from you. I'm gonna pull a chair up so that we're basically knee to knee. I'm gonna sit right across from you. I'm gonna pull the gun out of my back waistband, point it right at you, and I pull the hammer back. And I say, now, Bert, You and I are about to have what my grandma would call a come to Jesus meeting. You know what that means?
I don't know what it means.
Means you and I are about to explain ourselves to one another. And we're going to get on the same page right now. Because we've got a lot more to worry about than your behavior.
Eddie,
And whether or not you're going to kill all of us.
do you remember that sinus headache you were having when you were sat at the table? That terrible headache that brought you the visions? That is kicking in right now, right at the bridge of your nose. As you're having this honest to Jesus conversation. And as you look at the gun in your hand, for a moment it appears as if you're holding a bowl. Soup. Is that what you've been making, Bert, before? Just smells really good. You realize, like, for the first time, like, you're smelling. And it smells warm and heartening. There is no gun in your hand, just this bowl of soup.
I smell it. I take a second and I sit back and I do that thing where you put, I try to, I mean, I think the thing in my hand is a bowl of soup. I can lift it up to my face,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And yeah.
Still smells soupy. It smells really good. Like, you can nearly smell, like, fresh bread is baking somewhere. This is a really good soup. Where would you have had really good soup?
Paris.
And it is that feeling that you had in Paris that last time you'd been really whole. Literally and figuratively. And it smells so good. It's your favorite soup. The soup that you would expressly go out for on a cold morning in Paris.
Well, okay, then I think that I would take a moment to enjoy it. It's probably the first thing I've smelled in a very long time. Bert's not going anywhere. So
And
I
as
just
you
enjoy it.
are you just taking in the smell, or are you
Sure.
tasting it?
I'm taking in the smell for now.
Okay, you take in the smell. And all of that pressure that had just built in your sinuses is gone, and it's just that smell, and you can feel it almost kind of going up through your sinuses and down your throat and into your stomach and just warming all the way to the tips of your toes. But while this is going on, all you can see is Eddie is frozen. He's holding this gun at you, and his eyes are fixed and wide. And Eddie, as you smell this, you have an itch. You have an itch in your nose. Your nose begins to itch just at the edge. You've got this gold-plated nose cover on, and just underneath you've got this little itch.
Well, don't do it with this hand. I mean, am I completely somewhere else?
No, you're
You
still
know?
in the kitchen. But is sat across from you. He's looking kind of compliant, I suppose, and just taking in, watching you.
All right.
But inside, like, your gut feeling is one of, like, being safe and just wholesome and warm.
You're in luck, Bert, because I'm in a good mood today, right? It's been a while. Here's the thing. That over there, that's Lucia Miller, okay? That's the youngest sister of the Miller boys. But I'm sure you know that, right? You drink enough of their booze. You know what they're up to. You don't grow up in a family like that without knowing how to handle yourself.
Beware. Beware of the Millers.
You're damn right, beware of the Millers. You find that's the first sensible thing you said in the last hour.
My jacket pocket.
What about your jacket pocket?
Beware of the Millers. It was from the guy I buy hooch from.
Oh, well, gave you some good advice. Because let me tell you something. Those people hang you up by your toenails. They don't mess around, okay? People go bye-bye. You understand? You're going to be next. You start burning down their houses and their kitchens and their places of business. You got it? This whole business about whether or not she can shoot a gun, whether or not she can protect herself. Let me tell you something. That's the toughest individual I've ever met. Period. And she's got a hole in the side of her right now. And you and me are going to have to make sure that she's on her feet. Because the four of us have a lot of work to do. You got it? Now, let me tell you about this one. That is Helena Hawthorne. Writes under the name H. Hawthorne. You understand? Do you read, Bert? You read much?
Not much. I read the papers.
No, I didn't think so. Sure. Well, that's why you and I get along so well. Here's the thing. Internationally published author, published in 6 languages. Solved the Whitman case back in 1919 with her first novel. This is the thing. That's the most intelligent person I've ever met. You understand me?
Saved my life.
You're damn right she did. I don't know why she did it. But I'll tell you, I'm glad you're alive, Bert. And I want you to stay that way. And you've got another shot at this. Don't waste it.
You feel insane, Eddie?
Do I feel insane?
You feel sane?
Do I feel sane? I would not describe the feeling I am feeling in this moment as sane. No, if I'm being honest.
Ever since that house. Sky is a poisonous garden. That's what you said to me in the back of the truck. God damn it, it's true.
Well, I don't remember that specifically, but it sounds like something I would say. And it's probably true. We got a bad sign hanging over us right now, pal. And we need all 4 of us in complete control of our faculties. The enemy is in our midst. Do you understand?
Eddie,
It's here.
You got that itch. Just right there. It's really annoying. It seems to keep interrupting your flow of thought. Just right there. And as you scratch it, there's a nose under your gold-plated face shield, for lack of a better description.
What?
And that's the feeling you have is what?
I pull the hammer back.
It's still a bowl of soup.
I put the bowl of soup on the table. Thump. Will you excuse me for just 1 second?
And as you kind of adjust and inspect and touch the edges, yep, that's definitely nostrils there. And that's the tip of a nose. And further up, there's more flesh.
Is Helena in the room?
It's a nose. Helena, where are you, Helena?
I would assume that I am probably somewhere as far away from Bert currently.
Weren't you
Helena?
upstairs answering a ringing phone?
Probably.
I think that's where we left you, right? I think that phone upstairs was ringing.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it ringing and then you got a beep from Lucia in your brain? I'm trying to remember the...
All I remember is diving out of the room and then Lucia's in the doorway.
I think you
Yeah,
went
I think you're
to
downstairs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I'll say it's up to you. You could be upstairs. We could have another phone call. I forget the exact order of those events. Or you
I probably would have by now gone upstairs, yeah.
Okay,
I'm not
so
looking for
Helena
another fireball.
is currently upstairs.
Yes.
I try to make eye contact with Lucia. And I walk up to her and I make eye contact with you. And by first I tell Bert, you sit there. Don't go anywhere. I get up, walk over to Lucia, kind of get right up to her personal space, and I point at my nose.
She's currently putting napkins, like she's taken off the table, like to her side. She's just slowly trying to pad herself up. She's like,
I'm going to very gently, and while making eye contact with you, what side is your wound on?
it's on her left-hand side. So probably your right as you're facing her.
I'm going to take my right hand and very gently place it over the wound, over your jacket.
She jumps a little bit, but at the same time, stays there. And looks very confused.
I think my nose is back.
Have you still got like the metal
Mhm.
thing on, isn't it? You think your nose is back?
I take my left hand and what do you see?
Lucia, make a sanity check, please.
Oh yay! Oh, hang on, it hates that. I'm just doing it. 46. Pass,
Pass.
I think. Hang on. No, I'm on 41. Just to fail.
Okay, so it's a fail. So, as he peels away the covering, there's like a stickiness, a tackiness, like chewing gum on the bottom of a foot just pulled away, but it's black and it's oozing. And you can see this hole, this absence where a nose should be, and an ichor just kind of slowly, like a nosebleed trickling down. But the thing that really gets to you, the thing that you've never seen before and can't quite understand, is the phantom of the nose. It's as if it's there, but it's not this translucency of flesh and cartilage. It's there, but it's not there. And it's this juxtaposition of the gore of the hole and the absence and the ichor and this nose that is there, but isn't there. That your brain begins to tangle itself up in things that are there, things that aren't there. You being in this kitchen, strapped down to something heavy, dragged out to the cops and thrown into the lake at the wood, reappearing at the murder cabin. Did that happen? Were you there? You certainly nearly drowned. And other things too, the feeling of control and loss of control behind the steering wheel, the feeling of your body not belonging to you temporarily, the feeling of being watched by many, many eyes. There were no eyes, you were alone, save for the men advancing on you with their guns. And you will lose 3 points of sanity as you get kind of caught in this tangle of what is real and what isn't real. And it shakes you.
She'll stare at Eddie, but like back up a little bit. I think the blood loss is getting to me.
I take my hand back. I take a half step back. I put my nose back on. You need to come sit down. You need to come sit in one of these chairs.
And she will. She'll just walk over, and she's now, I think, with a mixture of the insanity kicking in and how she's feeling, she's just not.
Lucia, as you approach these chairs, you get that smell of soup, a good soup, maybe your mother's soup that she'd make in great big batches because it was cheap and it was easy, but it was so filling and good. And that wholesome feeling. You can't pinpoint where it's coming from. Maybe there was something in the sink as you walked past.
Who's been cooking in my kitchen?
Why?
Soup? Who's cooking soup?
Soup. I smell soup.
Only I cook in my kitchen.
I smell soup too. Look, I need to see the bullet wound. I need to see your side. Can I see it?
Yes, fine. And she sort of peels back her shirt to this thing where she's tried to like pad it up with whatever material she could find. She's like, though I would also ask if you held my useless person of a brother outside.
You want me to take him outside?
I don't want you to shoot him. I want you to fix him. I will shoot
wrong with
him
him?
if I have to.
What's wrong with him?
He is not well. He looks like he took a few nasty knocks. Probably fell
unconscious?
down some stairs or something.
All right. Okay. How bad is the bullet wound?
Yeah, as you look at it, it's pretty bad. There's this fresh, bright red blood that's just kind of just ebbing out. Very liquidy, very watery. But there's something else too. Small, tiny tendrils that seem to be attempting to stitch together this wound. Something you can't explain. But you feel like you've seen something like this before. And Bert sat in that chair, you've definitely seen something like that before. You've seen much larger tendrils. Tendrils that tried to kill you in the basement that came up from the boggy ground. But these are tiny. These look nearly like leeches attached to the flesh with wandering tails. And they're slowly knitting together, attempting to close this rather vicious gunshot wound.
I've seen that before. Down in that basement.
What, a gunshot wound? Of course you have your copper.
No, not the gunshot wounds. Them things, them tentacles,
What?
flailing around, sliming and writhing all over the place, trying to wrap around my neck.
When did you lose your mind? You've been at my alcohol again.
No,
I wish I could say I had.
it's not the booze, Lucia. We're crazy.
Speak for yourself.
Bert, you smell soup?
Does that smell soup?
How closely do you attempt to smell the soup?
I'll give it a roll's worth of effort.
Okay. That's fine. You make the inhale. You try and smell the soup. Before this, you hadn't smelled soup, but as you take that breath in, you feel the same thing that I've described, that Eddie has gone through this rolling, pleasant smell that goes up through your nostrils and down the back of your throat and into your stomach and all the way back down to your toes. It's very warming, reassuring, but can't figure out where it's coming from. It's just around, but it smells really good.
I don't trust it. It smells real good, but I don't trust it at all.
Where is it?
No one's been cooking. And you're bleeding out, hon. It's bad. We gotta get something on this. I can patch it up.
Bandages under the counter. Just go and stick
Eddie.
me back together.
You're gonna need
Make
to...
me a willpower roll, please, Eddie. Sorry, Bert.
Alright.
That's power, P-O-W. It's one of your characteristics.
Okay, yes, I will do that. And I'm going to attempt to do it in roll 20. Did I just hit
And you're
that?
looking for a hard success. Perfect, and you got it.
Ooh,
Okay.
no idea what I'm doing.
So, as you kind of move to get the bandages and move to pay attention to what Bert's about to say, that soup is calling to you, and you can still see it where you set it down. And it's steaming, and it looks appetizing.
But I mean, is it possible to view it in disbelief? Is it possible to see it as to be concerned?
With
That
that
is
willpower
material.
roll, you know that you didn't have soup before, that was a gun that was in your hand, and now
Right.
is apparently a bowl of soup, and that does not make sense to you. It doesn't shake your sanity any more than anything else has right now, but yes, you still cling on to that rational thought. That was a gun before, and now it's a bowl of soup. Things that are things they shouldn't be. Seems to be a running theme right now. But it smells damn good.
All right. I'm gonna go get the bandages from behind the counter, and if I pass by the stairs, I'm going to shout at the top of my lungs, "Helena, we could use a hand down here."
Eddie, it's no good to just bandage it up. I've seen plenty of bullet wounds. Did it come out the other side? Did the
I don't
bullet
think
get
so.
stuck in you, or has it gone all the way through?
Did it get stuck in?
I think with the amount of damage it did, it's probably still in there. That was a serious shot, and it wasn't a threat through.
Eddie, you're gonna have to pull the bullet out.
No.
If you leave it in there, it'll just rot in your guts and you'll die. I promise you that. Gut wounds, you'll die.
Lucia, you know anybody you trust?
I know a woman who could do something.
Look, Eddie, you can do this. All you need is something hot. You're gonna need to pull that bullet out, and when you do, blood's gonna go everywhere. And that's when you need to get like an iron or something and just seal that wound up real quick. It's gonna hurt like fuck, but Lucia's as tough as you say she is. She can take it.
And she's looking at both of you like, when did you make this decision for me?
You wanna die, that's your life.
All right.
One moment,
welcome.
Travis. One moment. Helena, what were you doing upstairs before you were called by Eddie?
First, I picked up everything off the desk that I had knocked off earlier, including that newspaper. I wanted to look over that again while I had some time to myself. So, seeing that I somehow in the last 3 weeks became a best-selling author.
The top of the New York Times lists.
Wild.
And apparently other lists around the world.
Yeah, so I did that, and then I think I probably would have, if the phone rang, I would have answered the phone.
Okay. So yeah, the phone was ringing. And you answer it. And on the other end of the line, it's a voice that part of you recognizes, but you also don't recognize at the same time. It's a strange feeling. And they say, "Oh, hey, that Helena?"
Yes.
Oh, great. I was hoping to catch you. I need a quote for tomorrow's paper.
Who is this?
Oh, you know who it is. Come on, Helena. We've been friends for a whole week now. Helena?
Do I just go with it? Okay, yeah, sure. I know you. That makes sense.
See, that's what I thought. It's me down here at the Washington Post. It's Michael. Remember Michael? Yeah, we're good friends. We had coffee. Okay, so I need a quote about your next novel. I know you've told me you're not really working on one, but that's bullshit, and we both know it. What are you working on?
I'm trying to decide if I want to tell him, because currently my novel is about what's going on here, and it's kind of gone off the tracks. So I think I want to just tell him I'm working on something right now. Yeah, so I'm working on a book right now. I don't really want to divulge any details, but it has to do with something that's currently going on in my life, and I'm trying to figure some things out, but you'll be the first I call once I have the details locked down.
Ah, come on, you live in privacy. What's happening in your life? Come on, give me 3 words. 3 words I can print. And you can just say this.
Cabin.
The murder okay, sure. That sounds like a legit thing. Okay. Great. I'm gonna print that. I will send you a copy of the paper. Thanks, Helena. Yeah, thanks, bye. And you just hear the phone just slam back down. And as it kind of jangles, you have a flash. You have spoken to this man before. You've spoken to a lot of people recently. A lot of people wanted to ask you questions. They wanted to hear your words about things. They wanted to hear what happened to Bert Morecambe. They heard he was dead, but they haven't found a body yet. They wanted to know what happened to Lucia. Did you know anything about Lucia Miller? You live with her, right? And you can hear yourself telling truthful answers. You can hear yourself telling lies. You can hear yourself skipping away from things, not wanting to. Playing with words is what your father would call it. And you remember that you've spoken to him as well. And that you've heard him express for the first time in a lot of years just how proud he is of what you've accomplished, and that he hopes you're going to come back to New York, that he knows you want your freedom, so he's going to get you a nice apartment. It's going to be entirely yours. Do what you want with it, but he wants you back in the city. He can introduce you to some more people. keep building on the success that you've had, because the ball's rolling now. And as the idea of this ball rolling comes to your mind, you think of when you were a child, you once played marbles. You'd found 2 of these glass beads and you'd flick them across the floor of your East Side apartment in New York, and they'd roll along the hardwood floors and collide with a click. And you remember being in the car that was driving towards Lucia. You remember the feeling of the aquaplaning. You remember just being there for a moment, and the click as you'd moved back to your body, and the looking around, and all the people watching you, all those faceless people waiting and watching what you were doing. Were they the voices that had been on the end of the phone? Were those all those people that were watching you? That pressure of all these people watching you and waiting for you to do the next big seller, or commit social suicide by exposing yourself and your lifestyle. And then you hear Eddie call your name. He needs you downstairs.
So I just kind of slowly take the phone from. Am I still holding the phone? Yeah, I'm still holding the phone, so I'll take that slowly from my ear and just kind of hang it up where it goes. I'll grab my jacket. I'm sure I didn't put it on before, but I want to grab my jacket because it's very cold. And possibly any papers that I have that I've been writing on within the last 3 weeks, to kind of go over if I happen to write anything down that can jog my memory of what's been going on in this memory loss, and take that downstairs with me.
Yeah, you find 3 notepads that you're halfway through. Normally you stick to 1 notepad until it's done and you move to the next one, but you notice there are 3 on your desk that you've been working through. Maybe they're different subjects. You don't have time in this moment to really look that closely, but you know these are current ones. And Isriva has donated a Wild Magic Surge for Bert and Lucia. It's 614. It's a magic number, Alice.
Okay.
We'll get those rolled up. And so Helena comes back downstairs. Eddie, please do continue.
I'm going to attempt to pick the gun up off the table.
You're going to attempt to pick it up as a gun or as a soup ball?
As a gun, and return it to my waistband.
Okay, you reach forward with your hands and the muscle memory of what a gun grasp should be, and your fingers sink into the liquid, and it's warm. It's very warm. It's a little bit too warm for your liking. And you can feel the inside of the china bowl just on your index finger. It feels very like a soup ball that you're trying to pick up like a gun. And you are brought to mind of the surrealists who had been in Paris at the same time that you were there, of the Dada meetings that had gone in cafes where you'd have babbled conversations with syllables that made no sense, where you'd point to things and declare they were anything other than what they were, and you sought the meaning in what that meant.
Okay.
The sky is a poisonous garden.
It certainly is. I know what I want to do, but I'm apparently too crazy to do it. I don't want to let on that I'm having trouble figuring out whether what's in my left hand is soup or a gun. And I'm going to, as graciously as possible, get right into Bert's face and go, all right, Dr. Morcom, I will perform the surgery and you will assist.
To help you along with the soup and the gun conundrum, I will allow you to make another willpower. As you try and shake away the fact that the soup is a gun and the gun is a soup.
Willpower.
Did you only bind Bert's hands, by the way, or did you bind his feet as well when you were
just his
him to the
hands?
chair? Just his hands.
Just his hands. And I passed that shit, man. What's up?
You rolled a d10. We need a d100.
Oh, no. What? What game are we playing?
I mean, nice try. And you know what? I'm going to say that you roll at disadvantage.
You're on to me.
And you roll at disadvantage, please. So roll again. We'll take the higher of the two numbers because in Call of Cthulhu, high numbers mean bad things. There we go.
Oh.
And with the wet, warm, viscous fluid on your hands, it's burning. You flick it, you shake it off. It's definitely soup. You don't know what you did with your gun, but that is definitely soup on that table, and it smells good, and you are letting it go cold.
All right, well.
Maybe you are now in a reality where the soup is a gun, and the gun is a soup. Where the apple is a man, and the sky is a poisonous garden, and the courthouse is a portal, and the insulators are invading.
Okay. All right. Back at Bert. Go. All right, Bert. Let's do one thing at a time. The young lady is bleeding out next to us. If what you say is true, and I'm inclined to believe you despite my better judgment, we're going to have to pull the bullet out of her side. So, hopefully, Helena will come downstairs any moment. Lucia, would you be a dear and lay on that table for me, please?
You're gonna need to get something real hot.
Yeah, you leave that to me. You're not allowed near fire. I want you to go over there and get a real good look at it. What the hell am I going to use to pull it out of there?
You must have a fireplace around here. You got some fire pokers? Tongs, that sort of stuff?
Oh, Christ. I untie Bert.
Lucia is sort of really frowning at you both, but understands this is something that has to happen. And she's sort of lifting herself up and taking off her jacket and made almost like a pillow to lay on. And she sits there with her arms crossed, just lying, looking up at the sea.
Hey, Lucia, you ever cook fish?
Yes.
You have them.
Do not tell me you're going to put a fish slice to my side.
No, not the fish slice, but you ever fillet that stuff? You got some fish tweezers?
And she sort of looks in. If you go to the bar, you will find a set of knives. They are clean, and there are some tweezers. They are not for cooking. Do not put them in the kitchen.
Alice, would you kindly reroll your wild magic search for me, please?
Yes, I can.
Thank you. And Eddie, please, I'm going to give you a choice. You can either attempt to taste the soup, or you can lose sanity.
Oh.
It is your choice. I'm not saying that's a good solution either way, but I am offering you the choice.
I mean, it's fun because this is probably as much pressure as he's been in since the cabin, because I would like to think that in this moment this is his hardest as he's ever tried to not lose his mind. And that you can see in front of you the problem that must be solved, and yet at the same time, quietly to yourself, my gun just turned into a bowl of soup and it looks fucking delicious. I think I'm gonna have to go over there and give this a shot, because I am thirsty, and I would. So let me just ask some questions. I untie Bert, okay?
Oh.
Did Bert do what I asked him to do and go inspect Lucia's bullet wound?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a look at it.
All right. As you get to your feet, but you are weak. Your legs are atrophied from being in a bed for 3 weeks, from being barely used. You've only been conscious for about an hour and a half, and you've performed some strange ritual. And a few steps across the room, and you crash down to your knees hard into the tiles of the floor.
Oh, shit.
As you lose feeling in your legs.
Am I okay?
You don't seem to have done any serious damage to yourself, but your legs, they've got that pins and needles numbness to them.
Foot's asleep.
Yeah, my legs are dead.
You know, when that happened to me, my cousin would punch the hell out of my thigh. And while I say that to him, I take a drink of this soup.
All right. You taste the soup, and it is delicious. And as you swallow it, all the way down, warms you in your stomach, all the way to the tips of your toes, and in your hand is a gun. Somehow you have consumed soup, and somehow you have a gun. What's more, your nose still really itches.
Bert, I think we're going to find that in this one, the only way out is through. These tongs, they're in the drawer in the kitchen, yes?
So Lucia says, the bone picking tweezers. They'll do. And a knife.
Looking for knives at the bar. Come on.
Oh, at the bar?
Yeah, she wants you to go and get the clean knives from the bar.
Yeah, these aren't cooking knives.
Oh, far out. Okay. All right. Bird, I'm going to walk over to the bar. Try not to burn the place down while I'm away. I'll walk across the room. Do I find them?
Yeah, if Lucia tells me they're there, you find them.
All right. And is there a fireplace in the room?
Is there a fireplace? You're in the main cafe room. Is there a fireplace in the main cafe room?
Yeah, there probably is off in the far section. Maybe not where the people necessarily eat all the time, but there is a fireplace there.
Over on one wall.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a fireplace.
Excellent. I'm going to set the clips down. Oh, wait, no, I wouldn't, because I got to heat them up. Well, now, hold on just a second, because I've seen a show about this, since we're talking here. This whole germ theory thing, Eddie doesn't know a damn thing about it. So I'm going to set these tweezers down next to Bert, slap him on the shoulder. I'm going to walk over to the fireplace and get a fire going.
Okay. Eddie, please roll me a wild magic surge. Thank you, Azriva. It's
Why on earth
6:14
would I do that?
today, please. 6:14. Anna, I replied to your question in chat. Let me know what you want to do.
That's a D614.
Mm-hmm.
/ roll 1D614. It won't let me do it. Oh, that's because I'm doing it in Twitch. Thank you, folks. This has been a lot of fun. I've clearly lost my mind. God.
And this is a reminder that you can donate to affect our game with Wild Magic Surges, advantages, disadvantages, nat 1s, nat 20s. Nat 1s in this case will be actually a 100 roll because we are in a D100 system, and a nat 20 will be a 1 roll because 1 is king.
I don't need them. I got one of them.
Okay, and that's a 471 for this roll. So you begin setting up this fire with what you can find. There's some supplies that have been left here. The place is pretty tidy, as Lucia would have left it on the day you went to the cabin.
Didn't she leave it after that epidemic?
Yes. But if you remember, the family were there and they kind of turned it around. And I think the place was in reasonable nick when it was locked up after she went missing.
I'm going to lay the fire poker down on the logs and walk back over to Bert.
Okay.
Bert's not going to do anything until he's got that poker ready. He's just going to be looking at it. Like, he might prod it in a few places. He's trying to make sure it doesn't bleed. He's going to say, like, I'll be honest with you, Eddie, I know what we need to do, but I'm not going to be the best at this.
Well, yeah. I have no clue what I'm doing. I probably shouldn't say that out loud. Lucia, you are going to be fine, by the way.
Yeah, she's looking. I was like, yup.
This is going to go great. And I look up at the stairs and shout, Helena, dear, on your time.
And Helena is on her way down with her 3 notebooks. Almost as if you'd summoned her.
All right. And I push Bert over and I'm like, I'm going to try and dig this thing out of her. Unless you want to.
Helena, in your research of mutilated bodies and other things, how is your medical knowledge?
Let me check my notes. It's pretty good though. I think as far as my skill, it wasn't super high, but maybe my...
So you're looking at first aid or medicine. There are 2 skills which could be applied.
I'm thinking of like, okay, so my first day is pretty good, but I'm thinking of like my character's history as a background because I did do a lot of medical research as far as like crime scenes go. And that definitely includes bullet wounds and the like. So possibly high, but my first aid is pretty high if I need to roll.
Okay, so I think coming down and seeing what's going on, you are going to instantly know what is happening here, that they are trying to get a bullet out of Lucia. You're probably not going to have the greatest feeling about it, and you know that you have some medical knowledge that may help them in this situation.
Yeah.
So you get a very quick grasp of what's going on. There's a fire going there. Okay, they're probably going to cauterize the wound somehow. You can see these tongues. You can see Eddie, who has this wild look to him that he's doing something, and you recognize it as he's bullshitting his way through something right now. You've seen this in Paris. He went to a party once and he knew no one there, and he was bullshitting his way through a conversation in Norwegian, and he spoke like 3 words in Norwegian. He was just bullshitting his way through it. And it's that same look of concentration of, I know something roughly related to this that I'm gonna go with.
Okay, so I'm going to just not freak out externally, but kind of be a little bit scared of what's going on and kind of just sidle up to like what Eddie's doing. Hey Eddie, what you doing there?
Dr. Hawthorne, welcome to pre-op. I thought about shooting Bert just to even it out, make Lucia not feel so alone with all this, but Bert had a better idea, and we are now going to extract the slug from her flank.
Okay, I know a little bit. I think I can possibly help. You're already doing this wrong, and I insert what he's doing wrong that I know from my medical history. How are you feeling, Lucia, as concerning anesthesia or any kind of preventative measures? Would you like a bullet or a broomstick or something? I don't know, to bite on?
She looks over and she's like, I want a bottle
Okay.
of the wine from the kitchen, and I want something to bite down on.
Wooden spoon would be my suggestion.
Yeah, she's like, also I'd like someone to hold my hand.
I can hold your hand, and I'll also
No,
get
not
you a
you.
bottle.
Not you. You can't hold my hand. It's gonna have to be one of the others. If they're giving me pain, they're gonna get it right back if they do it.
Oh, I see. You're gonna squeeze their hand. That works. Okay, so I can do the extracting if everyone's okay with that.
I am more than happy for you to do the extracting. Like I said, I know roughly what we're supposed to do, but I know nothing about medicine, and I only know basic first aid.
Okay.
Bert,
I hand you the tongs.
Bert, go get me some wine now. The strongest thing behind the bar.
Just wine, whiskey. Got it.
Everything. Get me something.
I'm gonna go behind the bar and find some of that head splitter.
Please make me a constitution.
Me?
Yes. Mr. Burt.
That's a fail.
Alright. You feel really woozy. Your legs still aren't entirely working. They're still like jelly.
Do I do that? I'll do that right now and then just boom.
This time you don't full on collapse, but you definitely probably lunge towards something you can grab onto to like steady yourself, and
So anytime now,
your
Bert.
equilibrium is out. That feeling of like weight being on a boat, it just there's
Yeah,
a rolling and
Okay, so I make my way to the bar like Octodad, and
this is a serious game!
I'll
Yeah.
get out there and yeah, and there's tentacles in it. It's very relevant.
Cthulhu Dad.
I'm gonna get my way out there and try and find a bottle of that head splitter.
Okay. Just make me a quick luck roll.
A luck roll.
Yes.
Oh, I'm dead.
Okay, I'm gonna fail.
There's always a chance. You've got more than one luck.
Only just.
That's not my fault. Things that are not my fault include. Alright. On about, you cannot find that head splitter anywhere. You look, you pull out bottles. Some of these bottles are actually empty, waiting to be refilled. You do find a bottle of wine, like a red wine, but you can't find the head splitter.
Just wine, no spirits anywhere?
Nope, just seems to be wine back here. Maybe someone's cleaned out all the spirits. That's the most incriminating evidence, right? A bottle of wine's no harm to anyone.
Oh, damn it. Okay, I'm gonna grab a bottle of wine, and okay, is this like export wine? Like we can't be manufacturing wine right now, not officially. Is this like some
Yeah, this
kind
is imported from Italy type wine. Probably quite
of
expensive.
probably very expensive? This is completely illegal. I'm gonna like head back in with this bottle of wine, and just be like, all I could find was the good stuff, Lucia.
So good.
And Lucia, you know exactly what this bottle of wine is. This is a bottle of wine from the case that your parents or that your mother had brought as a gift for your father for their wedding. And this is the last remaining bottle from that case.
I mean, she will open it and she's like, well, it's good to, if this is my last drink, it's a good one. And she'll just start downing it.
And I think what we are going to do as you begin to chug this precious sentimental wine, and Eddie is run off to deal with the voices in his head, we're going to do a quick break because I'm going to take a quick bio. You guys can stay and do Q&A with the chat. And we'll take a very quick break, about 5 minutes, and then we will be back to extract bullets from Lucia's body. You're muted, sir.
Oh god, it's terrifying.
It's weird. We're getting like a sense thing now. I mean, like this keeps happening. So in Eden, we perform brain surgery. In this, we're performing like surgery to move a bullet. Like, yeah.
I'm gonna say I don't think I've done any surgery in any of my games yet. I mean,
is it my fault?
in Curse of Strahd, I did the ritual thing where you were healing Madame Gandalf from being a werewolf.
Oh, yeah.
In my one shots, I just kill people. There's not any surgery about it.
Yeah, no, I've had this. This is the second surgery. The one before that was brain surgery in Eden.
Yeah. Yeah, something that follows you.
Yeah, I think this is a thing.
Apparently, Solobon had to get surgery in his Warhammer game.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is a theme that's coming along at the moment. But yeah.
60 gold! I don't know if that's expensive or not in Warhammer. Is 60 gold expensive in Warhammer?
I don't know. Nora wasn't really one for money. She literally just hit things.
Yeah.
When I played Warhammer, that is not just someone I know. Just as a heads up. But you're muted, Travis.
Did we all die?
No, we took a break.
We're on a break.
Oh.
No, it's a break. If you want to, it's up to you. If you want to continue and have an extra bit of time to go and do stuff, you can, or you can wait till the next one. It's up to you.
Oh, I'm fine.
I mean, if there are any questions from chat, like, ask away.
I mean, Wraith as well. No surgery in Wraith either. We're saying about the games that we've had surgery in so far, you know.
Has this happened before?
Alice had brain surgery in Eden.
That's
I
pretty
run
cool.
Eden, though, so it's okay. I wasn't literally having it on my character.
An NPC had brain surgery in Eden.
So also for people who may be wondering in chat, the soup was a result of a wild magic surge. I have amended it slightly for my purposes.
Of course.
The original wild magic surge was any weapons held in the target's hand turn into a bowl of delicious chocolate pudding for 1d4 rounds. If the pudding is eaten, roll a d6. On a 1, the weapon gains -1 stats. 2 to 5, no change. And 6, the weapon gains a +1. And now always smells faintly of chocolate pudding. I've changed the outcome of consuming the soup, and I've turned it to soup.
I thought it was going to be, like, him putting the gun in his mouth.
That was always a possibility.
I was going to say, the fact that he's tasting it is actually Eddie putting the gun in his mouth.
He was about to get to the last attempt before he was going to turn back into a gun and have a gun in his mouth.
Yeah.
It's like, as hungry as I might be. Wait a minute.
Suspicious soup is suspicious.
I didn't order the soup.
And we re-rolled for Alice. The target can open a pocket dimension 1d4 times per day to a mini fridge. I decided that was probably not going to come into play in our game, and we have since re-rolled that.
Yeah.
Sadly, we're not playing Frat House Cthulhu.
No.
Oh,
Frat House Cthulhu could be an interesting one, that's for sure.
that's almost certainly pulp,
Yeah, like, can we do
Yeah.
that?
like the football team. Or something.
You want to see what happens when I stay up all night long working on a video? Look no further than the new WebDM video where the thumbnail is Jim as He-Man, as Prince Adam singing.
Yeah, I've
And
literally just
Cruda
seen it.
Skeleton.
I think it's one of the most beautiful images I've ever seen.
It doesn't work. The chin tilt on Jim doesn't work. But when it's 5 a.m. and you're laughing this hard, you have to pick a plan and stick with it. It's made perhaps my finest hour.
And Velveteen10 uses her Patreon rewards to give a nat 20 to Eddie and Bert and an advantage to Lucia.
Mother,
Yes,
stop
I
helping them.
Please,
What do you
I
want?
love you. Oh, my character's gonna die with these two doing it.
Most likely.
I'm so happy you didn't talk them into going and seeing an actual medical professional. I'm so happy this is happening.
I think at the same time, she weighs it up like, I could either go find that angry Italian lady, but that's probably not going to go well now that I know my family are out after me anyway. So,
And also, Eddie just told me that she's like massive gangland celebrity. I'm not going to the police. She'll kill me.
I said she's related to massive gangland celebrities.
Bert
No,
knows
I-
what that means.
In answer to Solibon's question, we have I think it's 2 outstanding wild magic surges that haven't come into play. The one that Bert got was target loses feeling in his legs, which we've seen in this game before, in which I threw Helena down the stairs. Unfortunately, no stairs here. But definitely made sense with the weakened state that Bert's body is in. Having gone through a very massive trauma.
I also like the look on Eddie's face when Lucia's like, get the knives from behind the counter. They're not kitchen knives.
Took me a second.
Yeah.
Wild Engineer, did Charlie get my nat 20? Did I scrap?
You just did. I'm just saying, sorry, I missed some of the earlier things. I didn't have stream labels open, that's my bad. But it's there now. Arcanus, hang on, let's just go and find this. Ooh. And Isriva
slicing
donates for
lines.
good or bad things for Lucia. Charlie rolls to decide.
This
Really?
reminds me, I have a bad thing outstanding from Mal Hadal from like 2 weeks ago.
Isriva, I swear to God, I swear you wait for me to come in here and be in a dying state.
Thank you very much, Isriva, and everyone for your support. Don't forget those retweets. We've had those wild magic surges take effect as well. I don't know how far we are off getting another one. Wait, are we due another one? Oh, we already had that.
No, we're on 21 retweets at the minute.
21, yeah.
So we've got 9 retweets.
Perfect. Anna, we can see you.
Retweet.
Yes, indeed, Anna, we can see you.
Okay, well, I'm invisible to myself, so that's cool.
I feel that way all the time.
What's new?
Oh,
It's
my.
Cthulhu. It's Cthulhu.
Eris
I'm back
comes
now.
in with a wild magic
Okay.
surge and an advantage to Helena.
Hey, thanks!
That's genuine thanks. Anna loves getting wild magic. So Anna, it's 614 today. It's the magic number.
Okay.
All right, and I think we're all here and ready to get back into it. So, Lucia, you are leaning against your coat, curled up, swallowing back this
Yeah,
this
she's
red
just
wine,
downing the wine.
and it tastes vinegary. It's definitely not great wine. You'd hoped maybe for something better, but it's not great. And you have Helena there with the various implements that have been assembled, and I think Eddie and Bert are lurking. I'm not sure what they're doing right now. What are you doing right now?
I've just given the bottle of wine to Lucia, and I guess I'm sort of standing somewhat near her hand. I'm sort of looking at Eddie if he wants to be the one to hold her hand. I'm kind of scared. Also, Mathadale donates for more. He says, did someone say bad things?
How much did Mal donate?
£10. £10 bad things.
Okay, I would like to turn those 2 bad things into 2 extra wild magic surges because they're never good in my game. So I'd like to give a wild magic surge to let's see. I think I'm gonna give one to Lucia and one to Helena.
Same number.
Yes.
I think I cast an eye over the fireplace, make sure the poker's still heating up, and then I'm just gonna cross my arms and watch Helena do her work. You also got to find the little metal tray or the bowl, something for her to put the bullet in. You know, you got to have that bit where they go clink and it rolls around in the pan. You know, can't not do that.
There is probably a soap dish or something in the kitchen.
Like an ashtray, maybe. There's an
Oh yeah,
ashtray.
there would definitely be ashtrays.
Oh, come on. Got the ashtray waiting to tink.
All right, so Helena, are you ready to make your medical procedure?
Let's do this, boys.
All right.
Like, Lucia will just take her. Who's closest to her out of Eddie or Bert?
They are both hovering, I believe.
Has Bert just given me the wine?
Yeah, Bert is there. He's like looking at your hand and not sure if he should take it.
She'll just take it then.
Okay.
If this hurts me, it's going to hurt you, just so you're aware.
And Bert returns with his ashtray to catch the bullet and the wooden spoon that you will need to bite down on. I believe Velveteen donated the advantage to help Lucia with this procedure, so I'm going to let Helena actually use that advantage because she's making the roll. Because I think that's in the spirit of what the donation was for.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you want to make medicine or first aid.
I'm gonna go with first aid. And 2 fails. No, I'm so sorry.
I'm dead.
Alright. You reach in with these long tongues, like the little pointy up bits, from what I remember. And you're kind of like feeling around, and there's this oozy sound, and you just can't find anything to grab onto, but also there's a problem. The tiny, leechy tentacles begin to grow and expand and wrap around the metal straight of the tongs. And you've never seen anything like this, Helena, and I need you to make a sanity save.
I'm assuming this hurts, so Lucia will just.
It's definitely painful. You've got a metal.
She will bite down on the
digging in
spoon
you.
so hard that there's teeth marks in it, and Bert, you will just feel nails dig straight into your palm.
Okay, with a pass from Helena, you will lose 1 sanity.
But we'll lose on sanity.
No, Helena. Your sanity is safe for now, sir. But Helena, these tendrils continue to grow up and up. It's almost like the closest thing you can think of is when you grew peas in a windowsill box. They'd had the tiny tendrils that had reached out and wrapped around anything they could grab onto. It's like that, but these are black and they're wiggling and they're alive and they are moving much quicker than any pea tendril you've ever seen. And they begin to pull. It's the slightest force to begin with. You feel the pressure of the metal rings, those tongs on your fingers as the tendrils begin to pull on them.
So they're holding on to them, so I probably shouldn't like rip it back, right?
I mean, you could.
She's
No.
like,
No.
I mean, you're not sure necessarily. I imagine that. Actually, let's make a medicine. I think this would be the smartest thing.
That is very. Oh wait.
Okay, we've got some donations as well. Potato Hollow donates 2 nat 20s for this procedure. They also donate a Wild Magic Surge and 1 advantage, randomly it seems. And Is River for taking the Stream Boss has another 2 Wild Magic Surges for Helena and a nat 20 for me, I believe.
Okay, Scott, can you do me a favor and in our chat just send me all of Helena's recent
Yes,
surges?
certainly.
'Cause I'm a tiny bit confused as to who's got what at the moment.
It's gonna be wild.
Wild. Okay, so you do have those nat 20s to help you in this procedure, so I'm assuming you would like to use one on this medicine check.
Yes. Let's just go ahead and do that.
So as you look at it, you believe that it would not be a good thing for the tongs to go into Lucia, which is currently what the tendrils seem to be trying to do. And it's not going to do her that much more damage to pull them back out. You just need to be careful of the hooked end not snagging and ripping her any further.
Okay, so hopefully she cannot see what I'm doing.
She's not looking.
Okay, good. That's good. Lucia, everything is fine. Everything is going to be fine.
She's just looking at you with like this spoon grip between her teeth, like ah.
I love that image. Yes, so I'm gonna fix this. Don't worry, nothing's wrong. There's nothing inside of you that's alive besides you and your organs and things.
She
Things that
spits the
belong.
spoon out. Not alive.
Just your organs, all good. You have all of the necessary organs. Everything's normal.
Helena, you're mumbling. What the hell is inside me?
Do you want to know? Or, I mean, I could just fix it.
I want to know.
So there's a little bit of a tentacle situation going on. Pretty sure that they're not always inside of you, but maybe.
She stares at you for a minute and then looks over at Eddie. Go get me some more wine. Now.
I can do that. I'm gonna go get another bottle of wine and then come back and hand it to her. And then I gotta see what's going on here.
I want to make sure it's actually there and I'm not crazy. So yeah, I would love for someone else to come over and take a look.
She's still holding Bert's hands and takes the wine from Eddie and holds it to Bert. Open it now. Faster.
If you want to make someone look, Helena, you have Bert and Eddie right there. You just need to tell them, and for them to do it.
Sorry, I was saying that in character. Yeah. So one of you, come over here. Eddie, look at this. Do you see it? Am I crazy?
Do I see it? Is she crazy?
You saw it before, didn't you? Those tiny tentacles attempting to stitch up her side. I think you did. If not, you can see it now.
I lean into Helena's ear and go, yes, I see them. Lucia, it turns out you're full of chocolate and peanut butter, and you're just sweet as can be. And I walk over to the fireplace and grab the poker.
She starts drinking again, just like, no, and then puts the spoon back in her mouth.
We're going to try and burn those old bastards off of there.
Yeah, go get the hot thing again that you were going to use to cauterize.
You gotta get like a towel, or like I don't know if there's probably not mitts or anything, but you gotta find something to wrap this thing in because it's been sitting on the fireplace for a hot minute. And I'm gonna walk that sucker over gently over to the operating area. And we're gonna see if the heat of this thing doesn't spook those little things sticking out of her. Move your hands back.
Okay, let's do this.
I don't want to fully cauterize it. I just want to get that white hot poker just close enough to this thing to see if I can burn those tentacles off or see how they react to it.
Okay. So. Oh boy. So I've just seen Helena's Wild Magic Surges come in. Very interesting stuff. Make me give me a luck roll, please.
Okay.
Sorry, Eddie.
Oh, Eddie. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, marvelous.
The one with the very hot implement very close to his friend.
Is that my actual luck score? It is. No, I have a luck of 40. So did it roll? I don't know if it rolled.
Yeah, even with a 40, that's still a success, right?
Yep.
All right.
That's indeed a success.
Beautiful.
Success. So, Lucia, make me a Constitution saving throw. You hold down this white hot metal as close as you dare to Lucia's flesh and these tiny wiggling tendrils, and they seem to shrink back they seem to shrivel. A few of them seem to crawl back inside the body, and you can see larger forms moving beneath the skin. The heat of this implement is definitely repelling them. And you do not, at this point, scold Lucia with the burning hotness. And Lucia, you feel a pain. You've just been prodded really hard in your wound. You now have this fire coming close to you. But you bite down on that spoon and you manage to hold it together. But you definitely want this over with. This whole procedure needs to end quickly because you're not feeling great. You've lost a lot of blood.
Get in there and get it.
Just kidding.
I saw you putting your whole fist in there, like,
I gotta get.
just go and get it.
And maybe the
For the dexterous physical option, Helena reaches in with her fingers and please make me another first aid check.
Can I try medicine this time?
Sure, if you like. We are making it a disadvantage
You would-
because I need to burn through.
we've got like 4 20s.
Yeah, you would donate a ton of 20s specifically for this. So if you want
please
to,
let me use that. Yes. How many do I have left?
you've got 4 now. If you use one now, it'll be free.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, I will let you use that 20. You dive your fingers in, and you tear off the few that are still on the outside, clinging on. They're kind of like little husks at this point, like dried out flies on a windowsill. That sort of desiccated. I was like,
I knew the wrong person.
And then you slowly ease your fingers into this wound, Lucia. Because of the nat 20, I'm gonna say you don't need to make a Constitution save, but this really hurts. So
Yeah,
just bear in mind the amount.
She clamps down on Bert's hand, and Bert,
Ah.
her nerves are probably draw blood at this point. She is trying to. I can assume, as much as it hurts, she's probably can't help but try and leave the table. Like, you know, when your body sort of like falls, she's effectively trying to leave the table.
Hold her down.
I'll put my hand on her shoulder as she draws blood from my hand.
Yep. And using your fingers, you have to kind of go all the way to the knuckle, and this is definitely not doing good things to Lucia's wound, but you do find that hard metal, the fragment of whatever caliber went into her. And because you've got the fingers and you know what you're touching and what you're pushing around and what you're feeling, you manage to pull that back out. And you drop it in the ashtray with a satisfying clink for everyone's benefit.
Ah, that's the best part.
And you hurriedly, with the other hand, slam down the cloth to stop the bleeding, which is intensifying due to the severe deep dive that you just took with your fingers into Lucia's body.
Seal it up, Eddie. Come on, quick.
Yep, clean it up so I can get in there. Back up. I don't want to burn your fingers off.
Great, so I imagine Helena does as she's told, quickly removes, and
Yeah,
you go
and
in.
Before I do it, I'll go, Lucia, my dear, this is going to hurt.
And she'll probably just scream, like she'll drop the spoon and just scream at that.
That's awesome.
Eddie, have you ever done anything like this before?
Oh, God.
No.
No. I'm going to need you to make a sanity check, then, please.
Well, you just gotta have good aim, right? Yeah, I grew up on a ranch and used to ride and rope the Broncos.
This definitely reminds you of the brandings that you've borne witness to as part of being in that life. But I am going to say that Eddie never took part. Eddie never had it in him to do that to someone.
Are you kidding?
And this is a lot. And you do it with full conviction
My
as
current
you try
sanity
and
is 45.
cauterize her wound.
Oh boy. Oh
And-
boy.
Oh, wow.
You stab this quite hard. You want it done and you want it done right, and you just... Lucia, make me a Constitution and a Sanity, as you've just been stabbed with a red hot poker, but lack of any other description as to what has just happened.
Okay, Constitution-wise, she is pissed, but she's fine.
Okay.
But sanity fails.
Okay. You are both gonna lose 2 points of sanity. as probably for quite a while you will have nightmares, Lucia, of being stabbed with a red hot poker. This is the most horrible thing that's happened to you. You bite down into the wood of that spoon and you can kind of almost feel it splinter around your teeth. Eddie, you pull back the poker and the wound is cauterized, but you've also left a rather nasty shiny burn across Lucia's ribs, where you kind of stabbed it in and then lent the rest of the hot poker against her. And you feel that sweat on your brow, and you imagine all of the horrible things that you witnessed on a farm that really turned your head, things that you don't want to be part of your life, and possibly the reason you left the farm, the things that were not good for Eddie's mental health. But for right now, the bleeding is stopped, and Lucia no longer has a bullet fragment inside of her. But she is burnt significantly. And Lucia, please reduce your health by 1.
Okay.
Can I make my way to the fireplace?
You sure can.
Could you let go of my hand now, Lucia?
And you just feel like as her hand opens and she's just spat the spoon out and she's just breathing very heavily, like, and she's trying to sit herself up and will sort of swing her legs over the side of the table and sit herself upright.
Helena, who are you paying attention to in this moment?
Lucia.
Lucia.
I'm very worried about her.
As she sits up, you can see her shirt is still pulled up to expose that wound, and you can see this writhing beneath the skin, like snakes attempting to shed the skin of Lucia. And you remember in the woods once, when you'd gone upstate with your father, you'd gone hunting and you'd found a nest of snakes freshly born, just this writhing mass of thin danger noodles. And it reminds you of that, just under her flesh and under this
What?
Oh, you've never heard them called danger noodles before?
this crimson shiny wound. And you know that whatever those tentacles were, they're still inside of your friend. They're still there.
Is it possible that all of us have them inside of us? Have we felt any movement?
You don't know.
That's where my brain's at. I'm like, well, she has them. Maybe we all do.
And in this moment, something in your eardrums pops, and there's that tinnitus screech of like that high-pitched whistle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's as if there's been like an explosion, your eardrums have blown out. And for the next little while, all you can do is shout because you've just gone deaf. Something has popped inside your brain.
Okay.
And it's possible that you think that this is because there are tentacles in your brain. And I'd like you to make a sanity roll as you bear witness to this writhing mass.
We can't use that 20s, right?
No.
Okay. Oh, sweet. Success.
Okay, so for a moment you have this thought of my brain is full of these tentacles, and you're like, no, the silly is probably just a head cold or something. Just they'll pop again, and you kind of do the whole try to clear your sinuses to try to get them to unpop.
Helen, are you okay?
Yep. I just can't hear very well.
All right.
Lucia's going to try get up and just walk away for a second because she thinks she might hit Eddie if she doesn't.
I'm sitting on the fireplace.
Helena, as you continue trying to blur out those ears, try and resync and repressurize, you feel really woozy.
Same. So I probably am going to try and steady myself on something or sit down in a chair. I would like to find a chair.
So you go to steady yourself, and then you sit down, and your head drops and just towards your lap, into your knees. And in your mind, you are somewhere else. You're in a jazz club in New York. And up on stage, there is a man playing a mean fiddle. And he's dancing. And you look around to the side, and your girlfriend, Emily, is with you. And she's having a great time. There's laughing. You have champagne and you are just having the best of times, and you keep looking up to the man with the fiddle on stage, and he beckons you over. He's stamping his foot. He wants you to join him, and you get up. You cannot resist the call, and he presents you with the instrument. It is your turn to play. Look, I have wild magic surges, and I've got to get through them.
I love it. No, I love it. Okay, so I take it from him and I get up on stage. Am I nervous or am I like confident I got this?
Why didn't you make a roll? That's over 50, you are confident and you got this. That's under, you don't got this.
Just roll
It's D100.
Okay.
And the reason for the D100 we can see how. All right. So
28.
you are pretty confident. You had violin lessons as a girl.
Who didn't?
Who didn't? Up in New York, education came with music lessons. So fiddle's not that far from a violin. I'm just looking. Do you see an appropriate skill on your sheet for playing a musical instrument? Let's go with an education roll.
Okay.
We'll say this is part of your education.
Where is it?
It's one of your core characteristics. EDU. I think.
Oh, okay, okay. Fail.
Fail. You slide that bow over the strings and they just begin to snap one by one, and it's that piercing, screeching sound, and it's like tinnitus all through your head all over again. And everyone in the bar is outraged, and the man, he takes a puff on his cigarette and he looks real amused, and he's like, try again.
Okay, I'll try again. I failed again.
Failed again. This time it's just the exact same thing, and you feel that heat of embarrassment and humiliation, the panic of failing in front of everyone just washing over you. And you have to get out of here. You have to get out of this jazz club. Everyone has just seen you fail. You're Helena Hawthorne and you've just failed. This should have been easy. You were trained in the violin. And you have this horrible feeling as you look towards the man on stage and you see his eyes, his very, very dark eyes. Eyes like the void. You've seen the void. You know there is nothing there. You know that the void wants your soul. Do you try and leave the jazz club?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and run out. I'm gonna probably drop the violin.
Okay, so make me a willpower roll. At this point, I will remind you, you have 3 nat 20s, 2 advantages, and a whole heap of things that I need to balance.
Yes, I do. I succeeded on that one, on willpower.
Okay, was it a hard success or a regular success?
I think it's just regular.
Yep. So you managed to tear yourself away, dropping the instrument on the stage, pushing away through the crowd. You get to the door, push it open, and you're in a room, and it's an expensive apartment, and you've been here before, and it's a bedroom, and there's a man sat on the bed, and he's slowly unbuttoning his shirt. He's removed his tie and dropped it. You remember this experience. This was an unfortunate experience where you thought about trying to live what everyone told you was a normal life, have a normal relationship. This was the encounter that informed you definitely not Helena's preference.
I'm gay. Yeah. Okay, so this is probably not gonna make me feel very great right now.
And he turns to look at you, and you've still got that whistling in your ears.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a handsome actor from the time. He'd just done really well on Broadway, and you'd gotten to know each other through kind of social creative circles. And he looks at you with this frown on your face, not understanding why you're just stood there.
Standing there scowling at this man that I just slept with. Sorry. That would be awful. What to do? Can I talk to him in this world?
As far as you feel, you can talk to him.
I need to go.
You don't hear anything.
Oh.
He's
I just want to like
you don't hear anything.
back towards the door. I'm like backing towards it, and I'm trying to like grab the handle behind me, run out of the room. I'm like freaked out right now.
And as you back up, you open that handle, you fall backwards. And there's that feeling of your stomach just launching up, and you are falling and drifting. And you stir, and you're in a hot sweat in the cafe. It was a lot. And everything about it felt really real. Part of it was a memory. And in this exact moment, Lucia, Bert, Eddie, you all had the memory of the man sat on the bed. You all had the memory of this awkward encounter, of being involved with something you didn't want to be involved with, but believing it should have been right. And you all gain Helena's memory of that night and of that man. And that is 4 wild magic surges cleared for Helena.
Thanks, everybody. I
Good.
survived them.
And Helena, I'd like you to make a sanity check as you process all of this.
Well, yeah.
Hard success.
Hard success, perfect. So you'll lose 1 point of sanity purely because you still got that whistling and you've gone through some rather harrowing experiences where you nearly lost your soul to the devil. Not to mention the memories of a very awkward night that you'd rather forget. But for now, you remain sane. You don't feel the best, but you're back in the room. So for clarity, I'll run through the wild magic surges real quick while everyone decides what they want to do next. The next door the target passes through leads to a party of goblins celebrating the wedding of Johnny Depp. Pass, but we went to a jazz bar where everyone was having a good time. On a roll of 1d4, the next door leads to the private quarters of, and then there's various actors and people. I didn't know who everyone was, but Johnny Depp's on the list. The owner of the quarters is present and prepared for a night of romance. So I used that one for Helena as well, because it tied in nicely. And then we had all creatures in 30-foot radius gain each other's memories. I limited that to that one specific memory. And we had target can only shout for the next 2d4 turns. And a devil teleports the target to a mystical land of Georgia to have a bard-off competition, after which they appear back where they were. If the target won the competition, they now possess a magical golden fiddle. If they lost, their soul now belongs to the devil. That is yet to be seen.
I lost them. I should have taken it with me.
So that is where we're at. I think one of those was meant for someone else, but I was just trying to work them through and work them together.
That was awesome.
So we're back. You gained these memories. Lucia, you're sat up, trying to contain yourself, probably taking some more of the wine. Eddie, you are staring into the fire. And Bet, what were you doing as you take your hand away from Lucia's grasp and inspect your wounds?
My hand hurts like hell, and I'm feeling weak as hell. I nearly fell over twice during that, so seeing Helena slump down into a chair, or go and slump down into a chair somewhere nearby.
Stand up and be like, what time is it?
Hell if I know.
Night?
Lucia is standing and leaving. She's going to go see her brother.
Okay, as you look around the cafe, Marcus is nowhere to be seen.
Oh, hell, I was about to tie him up. Oh, man.
And,
Somewhere in what just happened, your brother slipped away.
and she sort of thumps her fist down on the table and it's just... And she'll walk over to the counter, probably put a gun back in her back of her trousers again. She's lost all of her weapons and she doesn't like that, so she's sort of re-gearing up as much as she really hurts. She's gearing up again.
Lucia, are we safe here?
I don't know anymore. I didn't expect to be where I was when I woke up. Oh. Eddie, that debt you owed my brother, I'd forget it. They're all trying to kill us anyway. Just a head.
Oh. Okay.
And she's sort of starts making herself a coffee.
Well, then it really is war, isn't it?
Yes. And she pulls the shotgun out from under the table and puts it on the side where she's making coffee.
Jesus, where the hell did you get that from?
You're not questioning the knives and the pistol? And she sort of like just turns around and shows the pistol in the back of her trousers. I would like a clean shirt, though. Excuse me. And she takes the gun with her and goes upstairs to try and find some clean clothes, basically.
And I was going to take a nap.
I think what we are going to do is have a flash forward. As all of the characters take a few hours to recover, a little time waiting for the dawn to come up. I believe we came to the cafe around 7 or 8 in the evening after Eddie had been staring at the courthouse, and we will take a few hours until the light comes up, and it's a steely autumn morning in Privacy, New York. You've all had a little bit of time to rest and a little bit of time to heal. But I'm not sure you've had any resolution to any of the questions that you have. But it is morning.
So we all kind of did everybody crash out upstairs?
I think Lucia would have probably slept in the hallway with literally a cup of coffee and her gun by her side. Constantly holding the gun, like pointed to anyone who comes up the stairs once all of you are up there. If that's where you choose to sleep.
I mean, I can head back to my house. I appreciate you looking after me, Helena, but I don't know if it's decent me staying in your room.
You can have my room if it bothers you that much.
Bert, go upstairs and get some sleep. You go home, you might not come back.
Alright.
It's okay, I'll watch out for you.
Helena, I suggest you do the same thing.
Definitely need to sleep.
There'd be a funny bit where, like, I had the same idea, and, like, I get a chair and, like, see Lucia in the hallway, and, like, I put it up. I gently put the chair next to Helena's door with my gun in my lap, and I don't have any coffee. I just put my shoulders against the wall and put my hat down on my head. Yes. You know.
Lucia's literally sat on the floor, legs out. She's got a coffee sat next to her, and she's got the shotgun. And she'll probably pull out a packet of cigarettes as well.
Can we, could it possibly be a short scene where, if Helena and Bert are heading up at the same sort of time, where they, like, Bert, like, waits for her in the hall? That was really impressive what you did tonight, Helena.
I don't really understand what all is going on, but at least she's safe and somehow got back to us. That's what is the most important, and we're all alive somehow.
You saved me, right?
I believe I did. I don't know how. I kind of panicked and did something out of desperation, but I guess it worked. You're here. As far as I know, we're alive.
I don't much care for the hows and whys, but I'm real grateful.
Of course. It wasn't even a question in my mind.
Sleep well.
Okay.
You too.
Victoria's missing.
Missing?
I got a phone call from her the other day. Someone kidnapped her or something like that.
I believe I heard from her too, but it didn't make any sense.
I went back
It's
to
all that ringing phone nonsense that we've all been dealing with, so I didn't know if it was real or not.
I went back to her place. I couldn't find her there. Tried to speak to her fiance. He was on holiday. When I tried to go visit him, my car broke down.
She's with a man?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope she's alright. I haven't talked to her in a while besides the confusing phone calls, so I didn't know I miss her.
But doesn't know what to say.
Do you think she's safe?
No, I do not. I don't know where she is. I haven't been able to get hold of her.
I want to find her. I don't understand what's going on here, and if she's mixed up in this somehow. She's not the type to just run away and not say anything. Do you have any idea where she could have gone, how we could reach her? I haven't talked to her in years.
I went back to her place. Her place was turned over, though it's been burgled. But there wasn't really anything missing.
That's not a good sign.
Nothing really missing except her.
And the man? You trust him?
Hell if I know. I was just happy because he wasn't a girl.
That's not a surprise. I hope she's safe. I don't know what's going on with her, but I hope we can figure that out.
I'm sorry for the way I was.
Was?
About you and her.
Was?
I'm working on it.
It's good to hear because she's your daughter and she loves you very much. Without exception. You need to do the same.
I'm working on it.
Good night.
Good night, Hannah.
Insane.
And as you all settle into your positions, there is no fighting the sleep as it comes. Your bodies are too tired, your minds are too broken. Even though you desire to stay awake and alert, you cannot avoid it. And Eddie, as you fall asleep, I'm sorry, all of these one minute have gone to the wrong people, but we're gonna go with it. Eddie, as you fall asleep, you find yourself laying on your back in the woods, staring up at the sky, the poisonous sky, and you see the clouds are drifting, tainted in greens and purples and strangeness. There is nothing normal about this sky. It's an occult sky. If you ever saw an occult sky, this is what it looks like. And then there's a tearing in it, as if a breaking of the fourth wall. And beyond, a dark void. And as you stare up and into the void, you see the Lady Justice. And you see her in an orgy of demons as she is pulled around and made a part of their doings.
Go on.
And she turns to you very slowly as if she is still made of stone. And she raises the weighing scales and they tilt. And they tilt back. And then she drops them. And as they clang down to earth, down towards you, these giant, oppressive weighing scales, you awake. And next to you, you look across, and Lutria is still cradling the shotgun, but she too has fallen victim to sleep, her head kind of lolling down, and she dreams of fire. A fire so intense that it burns away nearly everything that makes her her. Her hair is gone. Her eyes are whitened. All of her flesh seems to shine semi-translucent, like an onion as it cooks in butter. And Lucia, you feel alien. You feel cut off from everything that is you, from your family, from your everyday life. And it's strangely liberating. There's this feeling within you that if you are no longer Lucia Miller, you are someone that is free. But as you turn your head, up in the sky, crows are circling you, and you have a foreboding. You may be free, but death is haunting all of you. And someone close to you is going to be the next victim. Helena, after your conversation with Bert, you retire to your room. Amongst your things, you keep your notepads close to you, and you find yourself dreaming of Victoria. Mostly about conversations you'd had about benign things, when really all you'd wanted to say was anything but benign. And all night you try and get through what it is that you want to tell her, what it is that you want her to tell you, but she still just keeps talking about the most benign things you don't care about, things that are unimportant. And you are groggy as you stir in your bed. But you dream about the basement of the cabin in the woods, of those tendrils that wrap around you, that strangle you, of the fire you need to keep them away, of the fire you need to protect Lucia and Helena and Eddie from whatever it is that's happening. And as you reach out, there's a burning torch, something like out of D&D, one of these, fiery torches. You reach out for it, and you bring it close, and you flame at these tendrils, and you slowly loosen yourself from their grasp. But there is a giant bullfrog that sits opposite you. Its eyes are bulging, and there are black veins that cover its huge eyes and body. And it opens its mouth to let out this deep, bullfroggy ribbit croak. And as it does, you hear that bass that had been throbbing through the house that had paralyzed you. And in its mouth, you see the darkest void, and its tongue is a tendril that reaches out and it grabs at you, and it slowly pulls you into its mouth. And as you enter that darkness, you fear that you're not going to wake up. Everything is dark, and you are conscious that you are dreaming, but you have not woken up yet. And this is where we find ourselves as we enter the next morning in Privacy, New York.
Can I bum one of Lucia's cigarettes?
You reach out, grab one.
If she's awake.
You're awake?
She'll probably offer one of the, do you want one?
Yeah. Before we get up, before they get up, I was thinking, Helen and I, we used to hang out in the library a lot, Paris. I got into this book. It's like samurai wisdom, right? Japanese soldiers, right?
Right.
Talking about the code they live by. Kind of got into it. Part of it I had memorized. I can't stop thinking about. Said, even if it seems certain that you will lose, retaliate. Neither wisdom nor technique has a place in this. A real man does not think of victory or defeat. He plunges recklessly towards an irrational death. And by doing this, you will awaken from your dreams. I can't stop thinking about it. We've got to hit back.
Yes. She sort of lights up her cigarette and offers you the light as well. I plan on doing so.
I have two ideas. Either we go into that courthouse and I attempt to... I have a notion for how we could potentially magically, quote unquote, remove this from ourselves and remove this from the courthouse. But I'll tell you, I don't know that it'll work.
Magically?
Yeah. But I'll tell you what I do think might work is as many sticks of dynamite as we can get our hands on stuck in the basement of that place, and we light the fuse.
I could do that.
I don't suppose you got any of that around here or have access to it.
I'm sure I could find something.
What we gonna do? We're gonna walk back in that jury and be all level-headed and sit there calmly with our notebooks and our pencils and consider the evidence and consider the circumstance. What the hell are you talking about? You know?
She sort of looks at there is a lot more at stake here than just the jury.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have family anymore. In fact, never call me Miller again. Please.
That bad, huh?
I will go by my mother's name from now on. I don't care how much trouble it gets me in. I don't care. I warn you, though. It looks like my father is out. Which means you're in trouble. Which means Bert's in trouble. Means Helena's in trouble.
Well, I spent a long time only really being afraid of myself.
Oh, gets ready for being very afraid. He's not a nice man. I intend to be not so nice back.
See, the difference here, Lucia, is you three have something to live for. You understand what I mean? I'll go right down its throat.
You've got a lot to live for, Eddie. You just don't know what it is yet.
If I can find a way to kill it, I'll kill it.
I'm sure you will.
But I don't know how to kill it.
Well, I tell you what, why don't if I load a few rounds into it and then we'll see what you can do.
I'm concerned that we go walking in there with loaded guns, and before it's over, we'll all be pointing them at each other. I do not know how to... I thought I knew how to defend us mentally. But we can barely... I can barely scratch my nose without what's left of it, without all hell breaking loose. My gun turned into a bowl of soup. You know, I'm hanging off the damn ceiling by my toenails. I feel like if I just walked in there and blew it all to hell, something might actually happen. Something good might actually happen.
We are not the most competent group out there, I get that. You want to blow it up? Blow it up. See what happens. Otherwise, I'm just sat here waiting for my family to turn up and blow me up.
What do you want to do? You want to run?
No.
I don't think so.
Moretti doesn't run.
Well, Miss Moretti, this is what I'm here to tell you. That building is a psychic receptor, a particularly powerful one. Something has snuck in through our minds. Something wants in, and it's in. It's got its claws in us, and I can't reach in to your head and his head and her head. I can't reach in and pull it out. It's stronger than that.
And we go to the source and we kill it. It's a pest, so we kill the pest. Like the rats in my kitchen, you kill them. You wipe them out, and then you start again. We just need to find the right poison.
You could maybe, if we're really lucky, turn it into a way to rewrite our circumstance. People think we're in that building. Maybe too much to hope for. I don't know. Moretti, huh?
It's my mother's name.
I'll bet you feel better calling yourself that.
I feel much better. A new me.
There you go.
She was a tougher woman than I. And that's why my father had to kill her. He didn't know what to do with her. Problem is, they made me, and I'm best of both.
Right.
You want to go in there and kill it, we go in there and we kill it. It's simple. It's how do we get in there with what we need.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. A couple different ways to do it. We can go on into jury duty, put our feet up, listen to whatever pony show they put on all afternoon, and then we just don't leave. We'll go hide in the closet. We could break in tonight, give us enough time to get everything together. Because I'm telling you, I think we go in there locked and loaded.
She sort of looks down at her shotgun and is like, yes.
So, you gather as much explosives as you can, as much fuse as we can get, give us enough room to be out the window.
We either provide a distraction, we sneak in, or as you say, we never leave. I don't mind either as long as we get in. Are there, as she sort of thinks, that there's not a way to get in from underneath?
Oh. I
I
hadn't thought
mean,
about
we've
that.
got to put the dynamite somewhere if that's what we're going to use.
Yeah, I was going to go in the basement. I mean, you have to get right to the root of it. And I think that's going to be a particularly treacherous part of this. It's going to take the four of us to get in there. But I'll tell you, nothing can happen to Helena. You have to promise me. Because I'll go right down its throat. But nothing can happen to her.
Nothing will. I'll tell you what. She's a perfectly capable woman. She'll probably get herself out, but if not, I'll drag her out there kicking and screaming. But don't think I'm going to leave you in the belly of the beast.
Helena, make me a listen check. Helena? You're muted, but
Sorry.
all good. Yeah, I just need that listen check from Helena, please.
Hard success.
Alright, so as you awake groggy from your dream of conversations, you can hear a conversation the other side of your bedroom wall. And you can hear the words of Eddie and Lucia as they discuss their plan. And I fully believe you were sat in bed nodding along.
Yep.
But yes, you had everything that was just discussed through your bedroom wall.
Okay, and I'm in agreement with it too. So I'm nodding along, and we'll see how that goes. I'm not going to go in there though. I thought about it. Or out there. To where they are, not to.
Because they're on the landing, you're in your room.
I was just listening in. I wasn't actually going to go talk to them.
Bet, please make me a Constitution roll.
That would be a fail.
Hey. You do not awaken from your dreams. You stay instead in the void. What is it that Bet thinks about? He is conscious of the void, conscious that he is not awake. But he has control, and it's strange. Tell me what he thinks about and what he does in the void.
He sort of drifts. It's not unpleasant having a quiet moment where things aren't, like, it's terrifying, but he sort of finds a little solace in the fact that he can take a moment to reflect on things. And his mind wanders first to Victoria and Helena when they were an item. And the question that's mainly playing around his brain is, was it really that bad? And he sort of dwells on that.
Bless you. And as you dwell on that in the void, does it seem that bad? Does it seem bad in this place where there is absolutely nothing but you and those memories?
Well, it's different. He's not sure how he feels about change. Change has always brought him bad things. Change took Victoria away. It took his wife away. If everything could just stay the same.
Was that change though, Bert? Or was that you? Did you send them away?
I think that's gonna, like, come through as an idea, like the rising of a sun, where it just sort of, like, breaks the darkness in his mind for a moment, and it's a moment of great realization and somewhat relief, but also dreadful sadness.
And you are no longer in the void. You stand at dusk. No, sorry, at dawn, next to the bridge between the city and this part. Sorry, between like Manhattan and this part of New York. And you remember what was lost on this bridge. Your friend on his way home. And you feel that sadness, that loss. And you see the sunrise. And you feel a tiny bit of that fear of the dark leaving you as light is returning. But there is a coldness to it. And a hardness to it. There is something unforgiving. But you are no longer in the void. You're in some new part of the stream. What do you do here?
For a moment he reflects on the sun. Its rising seems to be symbolic, especially sitting next to the grave of his partner, or at least the place they died. He sort of ponders on if anything we do matters. Everything we do. No matter what we do, the sun still rises, it still sets. It still rises, it still sets. It didn't care a wink that his partner died. The sun didn't care about any of the other stuff that's been going on in his life, and
as you think this, it's like there's a time-lapse video playing. As it goes from dawn to dusk to night, to dawn to dusk to night, over and over. And even around you, the seasons are changing. The leaves grow green and flower in the trees, and then they turn to the oranges and reds and warm browns of autumn before falling down. And you find yourself slowly being buried in the nature that doesn't care, that doesn't notice you.
we're a part of it. We're all a part of it. There doesn't seem to be anything that... Maybe it's not that it doesn't matter, maybe it's more that we're not going to change it. It's immovable. The only way to go along with it is to change yourselves. You dress up warm for winter, you stay. And he's sort of like thinking on that, on like being prepared for change.
And in this dream world, Bert stands and he collects a scarf from the ground and ties it around his neck. And as he looks back down to the earth, there he lays. And he sees himself slowly fall through the leaves into the soil, dragged down by tentacles. And he sees emerging from the earth a tombstone, his headstone. And it says his name. And you see people walking across the bridge. And slowly the figures come closer as you wrap yourself up for winter. And you see your friends, and they stand over the tombstone. And you see Helena. She reaches out a hand to the rock. And she links hands with Eddie, who stands beside her, who holds on to Lucia's hand. And you see lightning descend from the sky and run through all of them and into the headstone. And you awaken with a star in your bed.
After I've started, I just lay there for a bit. I sort of start up and then just sort of like rest my head back down. Not going back to sleep, but just like eyes wide, just... That was a hell of a dream. I don't think he's ever had a thinking dream before. Like where you wake up with a new perspective. He's sort of wondering if that's the effects of not drinking alcohol for a couple of days. After a while he'll get up and he'll start dressing himself suitably. Straighten up his tie properly for the first time in a week. He's gonna pat
There
around.
aren't a lot of clothing options, but luckily Helena's wardrobe is fairly androgynous, and she is relatively tall, so you can find a clean suit jacket and shirt that will just about fit you. And you can make do with the trousers you have, which have been laundered by Helena at some point to clear them of the mud from under the cabin.
I'll give my shoes a quick shine as well. Been a while since I've done that. You know, I just mainly use spit. And
the handkerchief that you use is embroidered with the HH of Helena Hawthorne.
And I'll almost nervously open the door just to see what I'll see out there. Sort of hiding behind it and just looking around.
Okay, and I would like for Bert and Helena to both make one last wild magic surge each. As I'm going to use Mal's bad things from last time that we didn't get around to, and turn it into 2 more wild magic surges.
Is it still 614?
Yes.
$150. 150.
Helena and Eddie, you see the door of Helena's... No, sorry, the door of Lucia's room creak open. And the image of Bert in the doorway. Helena, you recognize your... Oh no, Helena, you're not there. In a jacket that doesn't quite fit him. His eyes definitely have that lack of sleep look to them, where they're slightly darkened. But also he's standing straighter than before. and there is a new presence to him.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, Bright Eyes.
You are okay?
I think that I am. How are you?
I ache a little bit. It's nothing. Would you like coffee? And she sort of heaves herself up, like using the shotgun, and puts out the cigarette.
Actually, kind of thinking, why don't I try and familiarize myself with that kitchen of yours and make us some eggs and bacon?
You want to use my kitchen?
Don't set the goddamn thing on fire, please.
There's bacon out the back.
Sunny side up?
Why not?
Something's got to be sunny side up. And he'll head downstairs and go and try and rustle up this bacon and eggs.
And as he goes downstairs, Bert and Lucia, you notice he has a glow to him. It's that soft golden hour kind of glow that you get when light is just at the right angle. And he seems luminous.
Looking pretty happy this morning, all considering.
Looks like he got some actual sleep.
Maybe. But if you don't mind, I'm gonna go watch him from a distance. I don't want my kitchen going up again.
I think
I'm
that's a
sure
smart-
he's fine, but you know.
I'm sure he is too. I may try and. I might want to round up all the munitions in the building.
Why do you want some?
Yeah, I'm down to 3 shells in this, and we're gonna go in there with any real purpose.
It's just, if you go into my room, there is a handgun in the drawer. There is a knife under the pillow, a handgun tucked under the mattress, and if you want a shotgun, it's in the wardrobe. I'm gonna go and check he's cooking eggs right. I should start to walk down the stairs.
Okay, so as you get
One of the
downstairs...
sexiest things I've ever heard.
Travis, your Texan is showing.
Did I say that out loud?
So as you get downstairs, but you have to really kind of scrape together something in this kitchen. There haven't been deliveries for a couple of weeks because everyone believed Lucia was gone. But as the morning progresses, people begin to gather outside. People have heard and noticed there is movement in the cafe. There are rumors already spreading in this tiny town that Lucia is back, that the cafe is going to open, and there are people that want their breakfast. And as this spreads, there is a delivery, a small delivery from Gloria's. The rival cafe has heard rumors that Lucia is back, and to make amends for any competition between you, has sent a small stipend of supplies to help you at least open this morning. The fresh milk, eggs, and some bacon.
Is it actually fresh milk, eggs, and bacon?
It is. The eggs are fresh from Gloria's hens, and the milk you imagine probably came from the dairy outside of town. It seems there has been a genuine offering made to you all this morning. And as the morning progresses, you do take that 1d10 of healing that I gifted you all before we started the session, which will allow your characters to continue on the path they have to take. Just so chat knows, it was a 1d10 that I gifted all of them so that they have a chance to get through what they have to do, because everyone was in very bad shape.
and this breakfast as well. Bert, like, he takes like a whole like half a key of butter, puts it in a pan, melts it down so it becomes like oil. He cooks the eggs in that, so they all come out slightly stained from the butter, but real good tasting. You know, they don't have any of that oily greasiness. They've just got pure dairy, like for the grease. And
I will need you to make a willpower roll as you are contending with fire, which remains an obsession you have.
that's power, right?
Yes.
Oh, hang a minute. Do I have things to use?
You may do. Let's see.
Two 20s. I might
two
save them. I've not got a ton of stuff. That's.
If Lucia would like to gift one of hers, since she's watching.
I've got 2. Yeah, don't burn down my cafe, have it.
Right, so Lucia spends that 20, and she gets to Bert just in the nick of time as he is staring into the flames and threatening to turn them all the way up again.
Yeah, she sort of runs over, takes the pan off him, and is like, why don't you make... And then she sort of second guessed at the coffee with the hot sort of...
It's
The tea-
okay. I got this thing. Thanks for pulling me out of my stupor. Alright.
It's fine, I like cooking. You can lay the tables if you want. It's my thing, right? I'm good in the kitchen.
Look, Lucia, Eddie had a real good talking to me yesterday.
Did he now?
He explained some things about my behavior, which I'm working on changing.
I wouldn't mind seeing that. You're not a bad man. You're a stupid one, but you're not bad. Your heart is in the right place. As she looks down at the wound that's like on her side, she's like, this doesn't make me weaker than you. It makes me stronger than you. I am your partner in this. We are all partners in this. And we look after each other equally. Now go lay the table.
Yes, ma'am.
And she'll keep cooking the eggs.
The smell of delicious food wafts upstairs. But you can still Eddie, you can still faintly smell soup. Just this lingering, delicious smell that mingles in with the eggs and the bacon and the butter. And the coffee that is brewing downstairs. There's no sound of catastrophe as Bert doesn't burn down the kitchen. There is, however, the sound of the cafe bell ringing as customers begin to file in and begin to enjoy the breakfast that is served at Miller's Cafe. Helena and Eddie, what are you doing?
I take the gun out of am I muted? No. I take the gun out of the dresser and I'm gonna put both of them in my waistband and make sure it's loaded. And I put the knife in my sock. And then I go out into the hall and just kind of very gently put my ear up to Helena's door. And if I don't hear anything, I go downstairs.
Helena, you hear the sound of someone moving around in Lucia's room and then coming out to the landing, the footsteps that come up to your door and stop and wait and pause.
So I'm also getting dressed and getting things I'll need. I heard what they said, so I know the plan, in theory. So I also have an ankle knife, or 2. So I put
Your
those.
sock garter.
Yes, I have a little like actual holster, sock holster for a knife. And so I'm getting ready. I still would like to look over those 3 notepads when I get a chance. I don't know if I've had time this morning. That would have been nice.
You can have time over breakfast if you'd like.
Okay. So I'll take those with me downstairs and look them over as I eat. Hopefully, I smell food. I definitely smell food. You can't help it when eggs are being cooked.
No.
So.
There's no escaping the smell wafting up and the sounds of cutlery and china.
We feel like a little family now. So I'm gonna go have breakfast with my family. Yeah, and take my notepads, look them over.
So inside of Helena's room, Eddie, I'm going to imagine that you hear her moving around. She's not being particularly quiet as she dresses. So you know she's in there and kind of moving around.
Good. I'll go downstairs and read the paper and eat something for the love of Pete. Probably haven't done that in a while.
The headline today is about real estate property prices are soaring in Manhattan. And there's a lot of speculation about whether that's a good or a bad thing. It's at a record high. And as you go through the paper, there's just lots of adverts today. That's what you're noticing a lot. It's just a lot of adverts and a lot of fluff pieces. It's as if there's no news today at all. And everyone's just scrambling to fill the sheets. And as you get towards the back of the page, you do see in the literature and arts section, there's a small piece by Michael Flowers that says that Helena Hawthorne to release a new book about the murder cabin and privacy, and some speculation as to the details of that case, which is ongoing at the moment. Helena, as you sit down and you go over your notepads, you find that you are trying to solve the murders. You are trying to figure out who all of the people in that house were, the connections. You've got notes about things that Eddie has apparently said to you, and there are a lot of question marks. And as you kind of finish going through, you also have written on the last page of what seems to be the most recent notebook, must get plans for courthouse from town hall, and underlined it. And it seems that before this, you must have had an appointment with Eddie because you had some recent quotes from him about various things and something to do with magic and buildings. But they don't entirely make sense to you. They were written hurriedly. Some of the words aren't very clear. So that's what you gleaned from those notepads this morning.
So my plan is going to be to go to the courthouse or the library, whatever, the records to get the blueprints for the courthouse. I know we talked about the structural design and architecture of it, so I'm assuming that's what we're planning on doing.
So if you leave the restaurant, if you go straight to the library, I see the thing in the paper, but I don't necessarily make a point of showing it to you, and I just eyeball you as you walk out. I got a pretty good idea of where you're headed, but I don't think I'm going to hang out with you this morning. But maybe we make eye contact when you're on your way out. Finishing my coffee.
Where is Bert?
Where is Bert?
Where is
Bert
Bert?
would indeed have gone to lay the table. He might call back and be like, did you hear there's a bunch of people outside the door? Are you opening this morning?
Why not? And she will open up. And then after she had the conversation with Bert, she doesn't feel guilty, but she realizes she doesn't feel guilty at all. But she'll make him a coffee. I mean, it's good to see you're thinking now.
Should be wearing an apron.
He probably is wearing an apron, actually, if he was going down with the intention of cooking.
Absolutely be wearing an apron right now.
So he's got his suit jacket on with an apron underneath, and he'll probably go and open the door to people. He won't respond to the cheer. He'll just sort of like, oh, I don't want to make a big thing of it. Go and open the door. All right, come in, settle down. I'll be taking your orders today.
A few of the locals kind of give Bert like a quirk of the eyebrow. Some mutter to each other about how bizarre it is that Bert, who they thought was dead, is now in Lucia's cafe. Lucia is apparently back. They have some serious questions. A few people seem to suggest you've eloped. Some people seem to suggest that the mafia family has taken you hostage and it's all part of New York's corruption.
All right, now look, all of you can stop all of that, all right? They had a bit of a breakout here the other day. You saw me here. I've been spending my time helping them out, get things ready for reopening. And they've taken on some new staff.
Lucia will wander over and just look at the window. Do you have a problem with my server?
Not me, no.
So
Just came for breakfast. It's great to have you back, Lucia.
It's good to be back.
Where have you been? We were all very worried.
On holiday. I needed a break after the madness. But I'm back to cooking your breakfast. I'm assuming you want the usual.
That'd be great.
Good.
No one makes breakfast like you do.
No, they don't.
And it's very clear that these people very much remember your terrifying statements when last they were here and the rat incident occurred.
Bert, would you take the altars for me? Just bring them back behind the bar once you're done.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you. And if she sees Helena come downstairs, she probably would have given her the coffee and probably just slide a coffee in front of Eddie as he sat down as well. We'll head back to the kitchen.
And Bert's not going to have the best sort of table manner. No, come on, sit. What do you want? Very.
No. And most people just go with it. They just give you their orders and do their best to not get caught out in their rumor sharing. But overall, the atmosphere in here is good, and they actually seem to, once they've sat down, have a really positive reaction to Bert here. There's a happiness at seeing two people back, and the glow of Bert seems to be having an effect.
I think that's pretty charming. And then I think he takes a second to kind of admire this place. It's as close to normalcy as we've been, from the very beginning of this. And Eddie loved to hang out here. Eddie loved to people watch and read the paper and eat breakfast, and it's marvelous. And then I think I noticed the date on the paper, and I need to make a phone call. I'm gonna go over to the phone.
Okay. The phone in this building is upstairs. There's not a public phone in the building.
I'm gonna fold my paper, put it in my arm, and go upstairs and call my agent / bookie / manager, Fingers O'Toole.
Okay. So you call up Fingers. He sounds very gruff. You've clearly just woken him up.
Hey, listen, I won't keep you. I just wanted to make sure everything that I was supposed to wake up. Everything that I was supposed to do at the docks the other day, did that all get done?
Yeah, you went and you got the thing, and it was great. We all earned a lot of money. Wonderful. What the fuck do you want?
Well, I've had a few cocktails since then, and I was trying to remember, what was the thing we found at the docks? What was in the crate?
I'm damned if I know. You paid the guy for it. You decided that you wanted it, and you bidded for it, and I got a cut, and I was confused, but that was great. You got the box. Whatever the fuck it is in the box.
And we sold the box?
You bought the box. You sold it to yourself.
I bought it.
Yeah, crazy amount of money. I don't even know where you got it from. You were the one that said you were broke.
Who did I buy it from? Do you remember?
The seller, it's his private details. I could tell you that. That's what happens. You never tell the buyer who the seller is.
Don't mess with me, man. You telling me you don't know who the buyer was, who sold this thing to me?
Come on, man. This isn't how the game's played. All right. It was Adam Crawley, something like that. Something creepy Crawley. Yeah.
Okay. And I have it now. Is that right?
Well, last I knew, you took the box and you hopped in some car and you drove away. I had the money. I was happy.
I hang up on him.
Fuck you too.
And I go downstairs and walk over to either Bert or Lucia, whoever I see first.
Lucia will be in the kitchen. I'm assuming Bert is out in the thing taking orders still, but
I go to the kitchen. And I walk up and I just kind of tap your elbow and I'm like, look, I got to run to the hotel. Here's the thing. If I'm not back in 2 hours, something's wrong. Okay? All my possessions are in the basement of the hotel. And I just need to make sure that everything is there. But if I'm not back well before lunch, something's up. But I'm right across the street.
I think actually you got all of your stuff out of storage and brought it here last.
Did I bring it all there? Did that happen?
I think so.
In there? In like where? In the basement?
I'm gonna say yeah. You put it down in Lucia's basement.
Maybe she tells me that.
Yeah.
All right. Look, I'm going in the basement. If I'm not back in an hour, something's wrong.
Are you saying this to Bert or Lucia? Sorry, Lucia was in the kitchen.
I'm saying this to Lucia in the kitchen under my breath.
Lucia, okay. I'll and she sort of taps the gun that's like, oh, so I'll come find you.
Good times.
Don't tread on the third step. If you can hop down, it'll break. It's just a thing.
Okay. All right. It's jumping out there. I was one thing too. Do you know if Bert fought in the war?
You know, I've never asked him. You want me to ask him?
Yeah, we ought to. Yeah.
Yeah, look at Bert, and she just sort of shouts right back into the.
I walk out.
Into the thing.
I walk out and go in the basement and go find my stuff.
Yeah, Bert will come through. Yeah, yes.
Were you in the war?
What year is it right now?
27.
1927.
War was 14 to
18.
18.
Yeah, I was there.
Good to know. And she sort of looks down again. Is it? Thank you.
No, don't go making a fuss. I'll go straight back out and.
Yeah, she'll just leave you to go back out again.
I gotta go downstairs. I gotta go find my stuff.
Helena, you've left the cafe and you're going across to the town hall to get a copy of the blueprints for the courthouse. As you go in, they've literally just kind of opened for business. There's a small counter which has one door to one side. Basically, most of the town hall is blocked off. You have to go via this reception. And at the desk is a young man with large, round, wire-rimmed spectacles. He's already taken off his jacket and hung it on the back of his chair. He has suspenders and a very clean, crisp, starched white shirt. His hair is oil slicked back. It's very thin. And he seems very busy with his work as you come in.
I walk up to him and I just ask him if there are records about the courthouse, or if that's even accessible to the public.
The courthouse? The one across the street?
Yes, please. I'm looking for information on just the way it was built. Hopefully blueprints, that would be the best if they exist here, if they're open to the public. But if not, then any information you have about when it was built, maybe even things that were going on while it was being built, just historical records.
He listens to you explain what you want, and he reaches out a hand and he dings the bell. He smiles to himself that proper procedure has been kind of followed through, and he gets up from his seat, and you see him kind of shuffling through some paperwork. He pulls down a small little blind. He says, "Don't worry, be right back." And he reappears a few minutes later, and I need you to make a luck roll for me, please.
Can I use a 20?
Sure.
Because I really would.
I really want these leopards. He reappears, and he actually has a whole box. One of those large court document type boxes. And it is clearly very heavy and very full of paper, and he says, this is everything. These are copies, so someone asked for them before, but they never came by to pick them up. If you sign on the ledger, I can lend them to you for the day, and you bring them back, and we'll put them here. And I think that'll be fine.
Okay. I sign the ledger with a fake name.
Okay, what name do you use?
My girlfriend's name.
Oh, Emily. I didn't know what her last name was. That's bad.
Sutton.
There you go. So yeah, you sign that, and he seems to just accept it, and wishes you a good day, and he looks forward to getting the box back later. Don't forget we close at 5. I just need it back by then.
Okay, and so I take it. I think I'll just stay there and find a table. I don't think I need to take it back to the room or anything, so I'll just find a quiet little area.
So if you ask him for somewhere in the building to take a look, he'll come out from the small little reception office, and he'll lead you into the building to a small, quiet kind of conference room type space.
Perfect.
So we're going to do the same thing we normally do, and I'm going to let you ask me 3 questions. The team can confer in private chat if the rest of you would like to input on what Anna asks, or rather, what Helena asks. But there's that. So let's go down to Eddie, who's rifling through his stuff. Are you specifically looking for the box, or are you looking through everything?
Well, first I'm just going to eyeball that the newspapers are there, which they'd be everywhere, basically. Be a whole bunch of them. And then, yeah, I'm specifically looking for this crate that I got at the dock. Anything that I don't recognize.
There are your boxes and boxes of papers. Some of them seem to have gotten damp, but that's probably from the rain from last night because it was particularly heavy. You also find the hat box down here that had the phone in from the murder cabin. You find some other artifacts and some paintings that you've been keeping. And make me a spot hidden check.
Oh, how many nat 20s do I have? 2? I'm gonna use one of them. What the heck?
All right, and you find behind one of the paintings the box. It's very clearly different from all of the other boxes here. Is a crate. It has been previously kind of cracked open. The staples have been loosened, but the lid has been shut back down on it. It's clearly labeled as from Paris. How much does Eddie know about Aleister Crowley at this moment? Do you believe?
As far as him personally, enough to know that I found him intensely creepy and manipulative and dangerous. And as soon as it turned out that this was basically a massive sex cult where everyone was going to sit around and massage their prostate looking for nirvana, he would have bailed. But I think he knows enough about him to know how insane he is, and would definitely have interacted with him on more than one occasion. But we probably have spent more time with this.
So make a knowledge roll of some type. Intelligence. Actually, no, sorry, education. Make an education check. I apologize for changing my mind.
I'm so educated.
You are super educated.
I am, actually.
Okay.
How did I do?
You succeeded. So with that success, you know at the moment you've heard rumors that Crowley is actually destitute in Paris. That he has bankrupted himself with his travels and his opinions of the world, and in seeking his answers. And so it seems likely to you that this is probably something of value that he's had to shift very quickly. And it occurs to you that it probably appealed to you because you know that he had some legitimate things. As creepy as he is and as bullshitty as some of his theories were, he had some legitimate things that he had found in his travels. And so opening this up, you find a lot of like packing straw. Everything in here has been very carefully packaged.
Could be
And
wands.
you find amongst the packing straw a dried opium poppy.
Oh.
And burying down deeper, you find something made of metal. It's slightly tarnished, but it kind of has a gold coloring to it. And appears to be in several parts. There are 2 discs, some length of chain, and a larger crossbar of gold.
They're scales.
You put that together very quickly, that these are indeed scales. And looking at them more closely, you see on the discs there are inscriptions. And do you speak ancient Egyptian by any chance?
Well, who doesn't in 1927?
Well, sorry, do you read ancient Egyptian? Is probably
Yeah. Oh, sure. Absolutely.
I apologize, Alice. Don't shout me.
I can make a languages. Well, you're asking me if I know it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I know Latin,
Okay.
but I have a 21 in languages.
Right. So make a language check.
Ugh. Watch, gentle viewer, as I blow this roll.
At disadvantage.
Oh, sure. That's a D10, right? Aha! I almost got you. I
appreciate your wishful thinking.
Shh.
You have no idea what the inscriptions say. You know that this isn't an ancient Egyptian weighing scale. The design is completely wrong.
Well,
but you
okay.
have no idea what the inscription is or why they have chosen to do it in hieroglyphics.
That's everything in the box?
That is everything in the box.
I wrap up the scale in a piece of newspaper, and I'm going to the library.
Helena, are you ready to ask your questions?
I think so. I'm trying to. Okay. So we would like to know, or I would like to know, first of all, if there are any sort of hidden entrances or exits, including whether the sewers run within or beneath the courthouse, some sort of like tunnels that people can transport things and get into. That's my first question.
Okay. Keep giving me the questions.
Okay. And my second one, I guess, is so earlier Eddie was babbling about some sort of geometric patterns or something in the way that they built the courthouse and how it affects the brain. So I wanted to know if that is what's going on here, if that's not too broad of a question, but if it really is something like that.
You're looking at geometric patterns. Okay.
Okay. And then my third question is, what was I going to say? Oh, the people who were involved in designing the building, I want to know what their intentions were or what their influence was over what was being done with this building, and basically the exact people who had a hand in making it. I want to know what their lives were, like what they did.
I would like you to make a library use or a use library check, and for every degree of success, I will answer one of those questions.
I think I have.
You get 1. For a hard success, you get 2, and for extreme success, you get all 3.
So I only roll once?
Yep, just roll once.
Can I use a 20 now?
Yes, you can.
I'm going to. I feel like I need to. That's really important.
Okay. So, this takes you a long time. You are here into mid-afternoon going over these papers. You've laid out the blueprints all across the table, trying to make sense of them. Even the blueprints make no sense. They don't seem to line up in any way. And you begin searching for geometric patterns. And this is the thing that keeps boggling your brain. As you try and focus on the other details, the geometric pattern is the thing that keeps coming back to you. And at some point you spot that the main foyer is laid out with a perfect Fibonacci shape to it. That room exists in the perfect sequence. And then you begin to spot other patterns in other places. But you cannot really figure out the purpose of them, other than there was definitely a mathematician of some description involved in the design of this place. And lining up with your purposes, you read through newspaper clippings and things that have been also put in this box that the courthouse, that the town hall happened to have alongside the blueprints. And there are descriptions of the judge that commissioned the building and of the various architects. And these are all very esteemed people that were involved in the project. But even at the time, no one could make sense of why this building was being built in this way. And there was one rumor that the judge believed the system of justice was imperfect and that he was seeking the perfect place for perfect justice. And the final answer to your question, there is a sewer connection which has been added for the modern plumbing, as there is some modern plumbing in the building. But the rest of the underground is basically kind of give way to like cellars and basically rooms that are designed for if there's a flood for any reason, like this is where the water goes, rather than flooding the actual courthouse. It's been elevated up. You do find the jail cells and storage, or what you believe the jail cells and storage are, from yours and Lucia's adventures that very first day in the courthouse.
Okay. So you said the sewer does have a connection, but it's not like a broad...
No, it's a very modern, it's kind of basically an outflow pipe type situation to take waste away from the building.
Okay. Okay, I think that answers all of that. Awesome.
And I imagine with all of that information, you're going to pack back up the box, return it to the clerk, or are you going to take it with you?
I think there's a couple things I probably want to take if there are like things that won't be obviously missed. I do want to take the blueprints, even though that's kind of a risk because I want Eddie to see those. The newspaper stuff, I wrote most of it down. It's stuff that I couldn't have written down. I'll take with me.
Okay. So just make a quick stealth roll for me as you try and discreetly leave with the padding of a wad of paper, because the blueprints are fairly extensive and they are large sheets.
Okay, I failed.
You failed. As you leave, you see the clerk behind the desk. He takes the box from you as you return it, and he eyes your jacket, and he catches your eye, and he holds your gaze. What do you do?
I'll be honest with him and tell him for the day, and I can leave some collateral or something, but I honestly try to convince him to let me just borrow them. I don't need to keep them. I just need to show someone this stuff and take some notes.
Okay, make a persuasion roll at disadvantage. I believe that's the thing.
Does that take away one of my disadvantages?
Yes.
Okay. I have a lot. Oh no! Success and a fail.
Okay. He just holds out his hand. You can see in his eyes this heavy suspicion that he's never going to get this paperwork back. He's not convinced. You were about to just walk out, try and hide it, so he doesn't believe you.
Okay.
So he holds out his hand to you.
So does he just completely distrust me now? Like if I came back with Eddie and tried to show him anything, he'd be like, nope.
You don't know.
Okay.
You can make a psychology roll if you'd like.
Yeah, I want to see how much he trusts.
You can tell, like, right now he doesn't particularly trust your likelihood of returning his papers.
Yeah. Another fail, so...
Okay, you can't tell. You have no basis for this guy's risk. But he holds out his hands for the papers. You give him the paper.
Is there any possible way that I can give him some of them and somehow still keep the blueprints? Or did I flub that on my fail?
I'm gonna let you attempt it because, you know, whatever. We'll go with a sleight of hand check.
Okay, I'm gonna use that last 20.
You know, whatever. It's only the map.
I know, I
The
should have used the
building.
20. I know. I'm out now.
You pull out a couple of pieces of paper that you think you can live without. They're the top level of the courthouse. You know that you're very interested in the bottom levels based on the conversation you overheard, so you hand those over. And you straighten your jacket. But as your hand touches his eyes turn black like the void, and you feel electricity course from your hand into his, and he drops down dead in front of you. And you
No!
can make a sanity check.
Oh no, I killed him. Oh no.
Let me walk
Thank you for wild magic surges. They're the best.
Hard success. Does that
Hard
mean he's not dead?
No, he is still very dead. And as you look at him, you see shapes moving under his skin and across the void eyes, dark tendrils wrapping around his throat and slowly constricting the body. You lose 1 point of sanity, and there is a dead horror in the middle of the office in front of you. The papers you have been handing over have fluttered around, released from his grip.
Well, I'm gonna pick all those up. Okay, so I'm definitely freaking out even though I write about murder and stuff all the time, I still don't like dealing with death in front of me. So, I am gonna pick up those papers though, just so everyone knows. I'm gonna get those papers back. And I think I'm going to... Okay, so there's like a being with me right now?
No, there's a dead corpse that is...
Okay, just making sure there wasn't like something sitting there watching.
Other than the fact that you probably feel, due to various insanities, that there is the presence of being watched. You probably, I'm pretty sure, feel like you're being watched right now by the others.
Does anyone else work here?
You have seen several people as you walk through the building to your conference hall, and you've had several people walking past the room. There's no one in that small reception office right now.
I'm trying to decide if I want to scream and let them know, or if I want to cross that name out of the book and run. Can I roll D100 and decide?
Yes.
Okay, so under 50 is going to be...
When you make a willpower check.
Okay.
And if you fail, you panic, you scribble that name out, and you leave the dead body there. And if you pass, then you scream, let people know, take control of the situation.
Okay, here we go. Fail!
Fail. You scribble that name out and get the hell out of Dodge.
Okay. I have the papers.
You have the papers, and you are sprinting away from the town hall. Where are you going?
Library?
Hey, you sprint, you head to the library. You burst into this completely quiet building. The librarian looks up at you and tuts before she can even control herself. And that is where we will end today's session, as it is 9 o'clock, and that is a 3-hour game limit.
3 hours. Uh-oh.
Oh,
Well,
man.
things. Helena's a murderer.
No, I'm not!
And that wild
No,
magic
no.
surge.
Her girlfriend is a murderer.
Yes.
The
Amelia.
wild magic surge was the next thing the target touches. Deal an extra 2d4 necrotic damage. I just turned that into the next person Helena touches gets 2d4 necrotic damage.
2d4's a lot in Call of Cthulhu.
It is a lot in Call of Cthulhu, and I'm really glad that's why I made her touch that dude, because I didn't want her to touch one of you and kill one of you. But the risks of the game we play.
Fantastic stream as always, Charlie. You were in great form today. Wild Magic Surge, sorcery, sorcered, and I felt ensconced. That wasn't the right word. I tried to do all the S's. It didn't
I like
work.
it.
I tried. Guys, let's go round. Let's do our wrap up. Favorite part. Favorite part. How we're feeling. Where we can find you online. All that good stuff. I can't remember where we went. Which way around we went last time. Why don't we start with Alice?
Yeah, I loved this. I think there was some really good interactions today between like Bert trying to make a change in himself and sort of approaching the two ladies about it. Eddie trying to eat his gun because it's and the fact that once again in a game I've been in, there has been surgery performed. And I'm glad that now Lucia has decided that's it. I'm starting again, changing my name. It's time to just make a name for myself rather than be a Miller. But yeah, I'm White Rabbit Pick. You can find me on Twitter. I'm a DM for this channel as well as a player. I am back in a couple of hours to DM Eberron. But otherwise, yeah, this was awesome. And Charlie, as again, master of working World Magic Surges. That's all I can say.
I had a lot of fun, so thank you very much, chat, for keeping those supply coming.
Fantastic. We'll go around next to Travis.
Man, that was awesome. We did some stuff today that I've been wanting to do from the very, very, very beginning of this, and I loved the showdown with Bert. That was awesome. But I think I didn't think it would, but edging it out is definitely me, Eddie and Lucia in the hallway, thinking about the long game and the end game, and getting very real with one another. I love that stuff. I love this character. I love all four of these characters. I love Bert's. This is catharsis. This is the redemption story. This is, it all has to come back around, and it's sensational. And Charlie, you did a marvelous job juggling everything going on and keeping this just completely gripping. It was awesome. I had a great time. Man, we're coming down to the wire. We're gonna go to PAX Unplugged. I'm gonna give Anna a high five and go wish her luck, and then we're gonna come back and take the bullet train to hell. I am at Travis Bowles. I'm the producer for WebDM. Hey, viewers who I appreciate watching this. Before Alice DMs her awesome game, take 20 minutes and 55 seconds of your time. Shoot over the WebDM YouTube channel and check out today's video with interviews with Mike Merles and Pat Kilbane, who's doing a really awesome documentary on D&D creator Gary Gygax. And also a very awkward interview with D&D Beyond's Todd Kenrick. You won't want to miss it. Thank you so much for having me, guys. I love doing this.
Fantastic. Thank you, Travis. Thank you. Next, we go up to Anna. Oh, hi.
Hi. So that was really fun. I'm excited to see what we're going to do next time. We finally got the blueprints to the courthouse. I'm hoping that's where we're going to go next. Hoping to run into Eddie at the library. My favorite part, I can't decide if it's the surgery or killing that guy. One of those. I think the surgery was a bit more fun and no one died there, so I'm gonna go with that. It was my first time performing surgery.
You did a good job.
Right.
Nice job.
Such a common quandary.
Fingers in there, but I mean,
We literally
Steady
took
hands.
everything at the academy. I'm just gonna get this bullet.
Yes. That was fun. Yeah, I can't wait to see what we do for our finale. This has been such an awesome game, and I'm sad it's ending, but that's okay. I will survive. Anyway, so you can find me tonight. Actually, we're doing kind of a impromptu. We were supposed to do it last Thursday, but it was Thanksgiving and things happened. But I am going to be over at one night. We play D&D 5e campaign called The Masks of Death. We play every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central, etc. But tonight we're having a charity stream for Movember, which is November with an M, which is for, I think it's, I don't want to say men's cancer awareness, but
male
it's men's
prostate, I believe.
male prostate cancer. I'm
Male
sorry.
prostate.
I'm
The
missing.
prostate.
Could you repeat where that is
No.
as well? Your internet broke up when you said where you were going.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's at Oh Baby 190.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Rachel, who plays on this channel too sometimes, she's awesome. The cast is awesome. Corios and Slade and Shana Nina. But tonight we're having a pretty fun impromptu game where we will be doing things that chat allows us or asks us to do based on donations. So we're raising money for Movember, which will be really fun. We're doing very strange things. Some people are eating gross things. I'm going to let people tell me what to put on my face, makeup wise, face paint wise. Something with marshmallows and mustaches. So yeah, if you want to join in that and tell us what to do, you can make little donations here and there, and it'll be really fun. So
What time was that? Sorry, Anna? 7?
tonight it's 7 p.m. Central, etc.
Which is 8 p.m. Eastern.
And then
We're doing maths.
5 Pacific. I'm learning.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're right.
Last but not least, our wonderful keeper, Charlie.
Well, first thing I would like to do is hear everyone's sanity scores. As we head into the finale, I want to know how much sanity is left for me to take.
I have 38.
Okay, that's quite a lot.
35.
I was at 45, but did I take a sanity hit when I failed with the
Yes, I
suit.
think you lost 3 points, right?
I think it was 2.
All right, so I'm at 43, which has got to be. I think I started with as either 70 or 75. I'm by now quite mad.
And how is Miss Helena Hawthorne?
I am at 49 out of 80.
Woof! I need to come for your sanity. Not even about halfway yet. It's no good. Well, in good news, I have lots of disadvantages, and that one's ready to use next session as we head into, I think, a plan to blow up the courthouse. I think that the gang have given up on trying to figure out what exactly is going on, and they're just going to blow up the big monster and hope that solves the problem.
Well, at least this is what Eddie and Lucia have decided. We haven't actually conferred with anyone else yet.
Favorite moments. I always enjoy dream sequences, and I really enjoyed giving Scrat a blank space and getting him to tell me what his character was thinking and building his little dream world from there. Because that's always fun for me. I enjoy all Wild Magic Surges always, and occasionally I get them the wrong way around because I end up with this massive list of Wild Magic Surges and I can't remember whose is whose. But I do my best to make sure they're all there, and that's always fun for me. I really love Lucia being the boss. Even when it's her own surgery, she was having none of anyone's shit, and I think she is a very good leader for this party, whether they know she's the leader or not. I enjoyed today's session a lot. I'm really excited for the finale. Gonna try and figure out Q&A. I think it would only be me, Scrat, and Alice. We'll see. We'll see what happens next week. But definitely the week after, on the 10th, will be the finale. I'm gonna pull out all the stops, attempt to use all of these dice. I may inflict a rule whereby we just burn through it. Every roll you make, one of these things has to be used up, because we've got a lot to go through. And if you want to contribute, save some pennies, save some of your December pennies, do the donations, do the retweets, because they help out a lot, and support the channel. I mean that we can have fun games like this, because the channel is a business that needs to be supported, and it's also a really wonderful community, and I've loved seeing everyone in chat support and grow with the show. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone. I am looking forward to next week.
It's been fantastic. Thank you so much, Charlie.
And thanks everyone for the Wild Magic Surges, by the way. I didn't say that. I forgot.
Yes, thank you everyone for your support today. It's been a fantastic amount of support. My favourite moments, it's got to be Charlie's working of the Wild Magic Surges, because I see them all as well. I send them to Charlie privately, and I'm like, well, Charlie, this is this one, good luck. And she's like, I can do something with this. And I'm like, how? And she's like, and it's amazing. So I always love
I want to give props as well to Archmage Derek and the crew who are curating the Wild Magic Surges. There are a lot of really fun ones, and the ones today were a lot of fun to work with. And definitely seeing the effects of the curation. So thank you. And thank you to the community for building the Wild Magic Surge list.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Okay, so that just leaves me. Here are these broadcast notifications at the end of our show. Social links. Head out and check our Discord, Twitter, and YouTube. Discord for the community. Twitter, send me a DM and I'll get you a game. And YouTube, you can go and catch up on all the other games. With the Twitter games, I'm still filling up Christmas time. So if you would like a game around Christmas time, send me a message and I'll get you a game. Next up, we also have a Patreon. Patreon is free articles on there. There's also exclusive content. Head over and check it out. It's a great way to support us. Our goal is currently to up the production value of the channel. We want to keep on giving new people the chance to play, and I don't see why they should have why we should have to. That should mean lower quality. I'm also stumbling over my words a little bit, so excuse me. Merch. Today, if you head over to Redbubble, they are currently having a Cyber Monday sale, and if you use the code 30cyber, you can get 30% off site-wide. So do check that out. Right. That would apply to all of our merch.
All right. Where's the link to that?
Right there under the merch. The Redbubble.
There it is.
There you go.
Why, it's right here.
There it is, right above the code.
So
bought
simple.
A shirt today.
So
Cozy.
Even someone with 43 sanity could figure it out.
Also, check out our sponsors, Bird in the Storm Publishing. They are live on Twitter. They'll be bringing some new content to us next year. We also are sponsored by Mage Hand Press, who made the 5e Dark Matter Space expansion. If that sounds like something that would interest you, check out those links. I think that's about everything. Thank you very much, everyone, today. I had a wonderful game, and today we will be heading across and checking out another streamer. If you could post the raid cry again, I'd very much appreciate it, Potato Hollow. You wonderful, wonderful being. Today we are going to head over. I'll tell you where we're going to head over. We're going to head over to Natural Ruckus. They're not playing D&D at the minute, but next weekend, next weekend we're going to be at Dragon Meet first of all, and then on the next day I'm going to be doing their they've got a charity day, a 24-hour stream. 24-hour charity stream, and I'll be doing the finale over on Natural Ruckus. So check them out. I'll be there in a week's time. It's going to be a 4-hour PvP session with up to 10 players, so I'm told. So I'm going to be doing like custom rules and things. I hope.
I'll do a laptop sleeve. Ooh,
Ooh, or a mug. I want a mug too.
The mugs look
I
fun.
need one. I need a laptop sleeve. I do.
I love that you can just get it framed or a clock.
There we go. So the raid countdown.
Canvas print is.
A sticker.
Guys, we are live Monday to Thursday, 1 p.m, 6 p.m, 10 p.m. EST. We're coming close to all the finales now. It'll be a fortnight, and we'll be doing the finale of this and a finale of a few other shows. And then the following week will be the finale of all the other shows. Then we take a break for Christmas, then we go on to Christmas streaming. So everything's going to be in the wind down. Keep on evoking emotions. We'll see you next time. Bye!